Hello, you spectacular specimens of humankind, you happy-go-lucky scamps of individuals. Welcome on into the cult of Vane, the home of hedonism, in this little corner that we call twitch.tv/Valenvane. How you doing? How's it going? How's things? How are tricks, you cheeky little devils? I hope that all is well and that you're all being treated well and all fun and games, all shits and giggles, all proverbially joyous. I am fucking freezing and I've got a lot of pressure in my head. The lurgy is slowly but surely creeping through my body, and that's not good because I've got lots and lots and lots of shows this weekend and I don't have the time to get ill. So I am double dosing the vitamin C, taking all the bits and pieces, doing everything I can just to purge through this shit from my system. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're all doing well, even if I am struggling, you know. Even if I am struggling. How's it going, Eris? Telling me hello, purple bat. Oh, my lordy, with the 10 stream streak in a row, running through in your long drons. That's not streaking. That's not streaking. You've got to be completely nude to streak. That's the whole point. Running around naked. Usually in some description of protest of something. Good lord. Scandalous individual. Good lord. Good lord. Don't know whether I am more perturbed that you are streaking once again when it's bloody freezing outside, or that you are choosing to do it with long johns on. Very unusual. Very, very unusual, right? How's it going, Zedidimus? How you doing, cheeky devil? Gilus, welcome on in. Thank you so much for that link, by the way, Gilus. I did have a look-see. And it was like, well, in order to install solar panels on your property, it's going to cost about 7.5 grand. And over the course of that, you'll save about 700 quid a year. So it'll take you approximately 10 years in order to pay it all off. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Good to know, though. Good to know. Even if it's not something that is within my feasibility at this current time, it's still good information to have available, you know? Good information to have available. Comfort first, purple bat. I do like being comfortable. Today, I didn't want to be comfortable. Today, because of the fact that I'm feeling ill. Because I'm feeling the pressure in my brain slowly but surely making my eyeballs pop out. I was like, I'm going to wear a suit today. I'm going to dress all swish and standy dandy. You know, fancy dancy, as they say, with my little cup of tea. That's right, friends. Today's intro track was from Calva Louise, who are a Spanish-speaking metal band. And they're starting to sing more and more songs in Spanish, which I was very excited to see. So I enjoyed that. I discovered them via TikTok. I discover a lot of new and interesting bands on TikTok, it turns out. How's it going, Luna Butterfly? How you doing, cheeky devil? Frostbite doesn't know the meaning of safe words. That is true. That is very, very true. Frostbite be like that, little shit. Do they not know consent, the shit? How's it going, Druid as a Midian? Howdy, partner. Well, hello there, Nibrin. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing okay. You ready for some cowboy psychologies? I know how to psychologize all them cowboys, and that's what we're doing today. All those cowpoke. The game's great. Our character is shit. Aries, once again, thank you very much, Little Pandrix. I appreciate that. JM Beard, welcome on in. How's it going? How you doing? Hello, fellow reprobates. Never truer words have I heard. Never truer words have I heard. Good lord. Do people still read papers? I mean, they're always on sale in shops, so I assume some people must read papers. I have not physically seen anyone other than a random old man read a paper. You know a few people that actually still read papers, yeah? Manuka honey works wonders if you can get some. I don't know whether I'll be able to. It's alright. I'll just dose up on paracetamol, phenylephrine, and a fair amount of caffeine. One of the great benefits of having worked in a pharmaceutical company is I know certain aspects of APIs, you know. Darkly Divine Darling, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Hope you're doing well. Dealing with a bit of stuff today because it's a rough day for the brain weasel. That's fair. You take it easy. You take it easy. And bearing in mind that today might get heavy on account of the fact that we are going to be doing psychologicals. We're going to be delving into the psychologicals. So, yeah, just if you need to disappear off, if you need to step out because it's getting too brain intense, please do so. Please do whatever you need to do. Oh, I am not getting enough sleep for the amount of fucking fatigue my body's dealing with. But that's fine. After this weekend, I should be able to sleep more. One more weekend to be fine. One more weekend to be all right. Glad the link helped see what was possible. Thank you very much, Jazz. Yeah, honestly, it did. It did. All of the stuff that I was wondering was available there in that moment. So I really appreciate you popping that link in. Wanderer Gribble, how you doing? How's it going? Good time zone. Brats and beans. Brats and beans. Link's here. How you doing, you cheeky devil? And Mr. Wizard, sir. That's me. I am Mr. Wizard. You may call me Mr. Wizard. But that is my first name, Mr. Oh, suits you, sir. Max, good lord. Good lord. It's quite cozy. It's quite cozy, I have to say. I feel like I'm about to teach vampire hunters about relative various different demons. I feel like a new age Giles from Buffy. Do you know what I mean? Amber, hello, you exquisite individual. What a lovely outfit. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling the fancy danciness. This is like smart casual for me. Many people are like, this is smart. And I'm like, no, this is smart casual. This is pretty smart casual for me. You know, just bit relaxed, bit fun, bit interesting. How you doing, Amber? How's it going? By the way, Van, what do you call a vegan who likes nuts? A pecan? That was worse. That was worse, Grand Zenak. That was worse than Erich Ptolemy's ones. Good lord. So much worse. Onyx, how you doing? How's it going? Remember the first time I heard Closure in Moscow here, and I've never stopped listening to them from that day. Good, Onyx. They're a fantastic band. I am glad to hear it, because they are a fantastic band. They are very, very, very good. But yeah, no, I do like my weird obscure bands that like they seem to have really big followings in their specific areas, and then other areas nobody's fucking heard of them. So I'm listening to them, I'm like, yeah, look at this band, this is great, and everyone's like, oh my god, this is absolutely fantastic, and I'm like, yeah, spreading the love for new music and what have you, you know. Lidl sell them for £5. I stocked up. Sell what for? Oh, the Manuka honey. The Manuka honey. Ah, okay. I have a Lidl somewhere close to me. I'm sure I could pop in. Lidl do really, really good brownies and seeded bread as well. Seeded bread. So I'm sure I can pop in to one of those for sure. Just waking up over the pond. You look supremely elegant. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm also doing very relaxed makeup today. I have been very, very calm on the layers of the makeup. One, because my face needs a bit of a break because I've been wearing a lot of makeup recently. And two, I am running out. I'm running out of makeup, which means that I need to go and buy more before Thursday. So tonight, tomorrow morning, or Thursday morning, I'll need to go get more makeup because I am running low and I've got loads of shows. Loads of shows. But yeah, doing all right. Can't give a duck. TV license inspectors are getting very creative. Just had one knock at my door pretending to be an electrician. I, of course, obey the law and don't watch TV. Yeah, neither do I. The TV license stuff is absolute fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. And it's people seem to think that you need a TV license just to have a TV, and you don't. There are very specific things that you need a TV license for. Primarily live television or the BBC on demand. And like maybe one or two other things, but generally speaking, you don't need a TV. I have never had a TV license because I'd never watched live TV. Never watched live TV. Watch the highlights of things when they are made into highlights afterwards on like YouTube and shit like that. I watch streaming services that I already fucking pay for. You do not need a fucking TV license for 99% of your media consumption. But people worry about it and they panic, and as a result, the fucking BBC end up making hundreds of thousands of dollars or hundreds of £1,000s every single year purely off people's fear. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, enough of my rant. Good. Just got over on work, ready to take a nap. I have cleaning to do around the house. Ooh, I mean, I like a good clean house. I've been doing a little bit of cleaning here, there, and everywhere. just to try and make sure, because October, my house always gets like a fucking stag, just purely because of the amount of events that I do. I do events all the fucking time. As a result, my house gets become a shit tip. But I've been steadily clearing the house. It didn't help that I got the boiler replaced like at the end of last month, which meant that I had to clear out my entire wardrobe, which meant that I have been going through my wardrobe, and my wardrobe is now all over the house. Apart from in this room, obviously. But this room looks messy anyway, purely because of the Halloween decorations. You know? It's really annoying as well, because like these cobwebs look really, really good to you on the camera. All right? They look really good to you on the camera. To me, they look clunky as shit. Because when I do Halloween decorations, I like to spread them really thin so they look like actual cobwebs. You know, like cobwebs when they've like gathered some dust or what have you, and they look like actual fucking cobwebs. So I was just spreading them around really, really thin, and then I looked on the camera and was like, nobody can see. All this stuff, like in between this is like really fine. Between these two little sections here is like really fine cobwebs, and it looks really cool and beautiful and but you can't see any of that. You just see straight through it, and it's like, fuck's sake. Pointless. Fucking pointless. So I'm glad that it looks good to you, but Jesus Christ, it looks annoying to me. Throat does not feel good today. Taking some Lemsip to help. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. The other thing you could do is take ibuprofen, because if your throat is swelling, it has got some inflammation, then having anti-inflammatories will help that. But make sure that if you're taking any kind of painkiller, you eat beforehand, so your body's got something to digest it with. Otherwise, you just end up with stomach ulcers. Ooh, you know, the usual shit. The usual shit. You do you, darling. You don't need makeup. Just just gilds the lily. I like that phrase. That's a really nice phrase. It gilds the lily. Yeah, that's a nice one. That is a nice one. I always say that makeup is an accentuation to a person's face. It highlights the beauty that is already there. It does not make somebody beautiful. The beauty's already there. Beauty's already there. All it does is highlight it. Draws the eye to certain aspects of your face. Do you know what I mean? Like, my eyeshadow draws the eyes to my eyeballs. My delightful stubbly face draws the eyes to my very voluptuous, sexy mouth. Low job lips. You know? How's it going, Lunacon? How you doing, you beautiful individual? I have never watched TV either. I've never had a TV license in any of my homes. Just make sure that you're registered, that you don't need one. They leave you alone. Yeah, I've recently had a letter through saying, we just need to double check that we've got everything the same again, that you are still not using any kind of TV license or anything. And I was like, yeah, I still do not use any of these things. Just pop online and confirm it all. And they were like, we might send somebody around to inspect. So I'm like, all right, do it. Do it. You are going to find a shitload of computers and none of us having watched any live TV. It's just not something that we do. So, good luck. You know what I mean? Trying to get into work mode here. Make some chai pumpkin tea to get into the focus headspace. Excited to see more vampire therapists while I work. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really enjoying everything about the game apart from our character. As I've said many times, our character annoys the fuck out of me. But everything else about the game is excellent. How's it going, Just Sally? Welcome on in. How you doing? You're at the Darkroom show at London Comic Con. I think I may have strained my throat a bit from cheering, yelling, and shouting. Fair. I mean, even so, Grand Zedak, it's still inflammation of the throat. So take some paracetamol. Not paracetamol. Take some ibuprofen. But do it with food, all right? Pumpkin chai. Isn't chai just another name for tea? Didn't we discover this before, that chai is just, when someone says, oh, chai tea, it just means tea? I swear somebody said this in chat like a few weeks ago. Avoid live TV like the plague. Just movie and TV show programs. News I do not want. I keep up to date with the news, absolutely. But I keep up to date with the news by watching like a variety of different journalist YouTubers. who put it all on YouTube. I do not watch the BBC because, in the nicest way possible, I don't consider them to be a trustworthy news source. Why would I watch a program from a source that I don't consider to be trustworthy, you know? At the moment, I've been trying to keep up to date with all of the streamer drama that's going on. I don't like to get involved myself. I don't like to commit reviews and stuff like that, but I like to know what is going on, because normally when it comes to the very big streamers, the people that are in the tens of thousands of viewers, they have an effect on how the whole platform ends up working and stuff. So that's why I like to keep an eye, just for my own personal things. And there is a lot of shit going on at the moment, and rightly so. Shit should be going on, for sure. Omeprazole is the medication that lines the stomach before you take certain medication. I take this, for me personally, as works to stop the stomach ulcers. I take it with advice of a medical professional. This is not advice, merely me committing that you there are other ways of protecting your stomach. There are, I can't give a duck, but you could always just eat something. If there's particular reasons why you can't eat something, and I don't mean just, oh, I'm on a bit of a diet, but like a medical professional has turned around and said, hey, you need to not eat these things, then yeah, take some description of manufactured pharmaceutical in order to line your stomach. But you could also just have some bread, even some soup, something that your body can digest with the paracetamol, you know? Chai means tea in Hindi. I was about to say, chai is tea. Yeah. How's it going, Gecko the Dev? How you doing? Can I get a shout out for Gecko the Dev, please? Naan means bread as well. Does it? Is that right? So when the British people order a curry and ask for a naan bread, what we mean is a bread. Excuse me, could you give me a bread? I'm a big fan of the vegetarian Rogan Josh, but I was wondering if I could get some bread with that, please. People go check out Gecko the Dev. They're glorious and spectacular. They're a happy-go-lucky scamp of an individual. I appreciate them a lot. If you order a chai tea and a naan bread at an Indian restaurant, that's why they give you the sad smile. I love that. That's hilarious. I think normally when I go for like a curry, I just ask for naan. I don't say, can I have a naan bread? I'll be like, can I have a garlic naan? I never really considered it before, but actually, no, I don't think I actually do that, which is great. That means I've accidentally been correct. Don't trust any news source or media company that arse-licks the government. Yes, exactly that. To be fair, no, I don't trust any news source that always seems to have one point of view. Any news source. Doesn't matter what the news source is. If they only ever have one point of view, I don't trust them. I just don't trust them. You should always have a variety of different journalists coming from things with different angles. That's the only way that you can have a universal level of being equal. Viewing things from equal different sides, you know, different perspectives and stuff, as we always try to do in here, you know. You want about the whole TwitchCon stuff? No, the stuff after the TwitchCon stuff, Grand Zenarch. The TwitchCon stuff we've already been through, and I'm not going to go over it again. If people do want to watch all the stuff, like I talked about the whole Emiru situation a couple of weeks. In fact, the Monday after TwitchCon, I talked about all the Emiru stuff. And that VOD is available on the VODs and Vanity channel. What she's gone through at TwitchCon is absolutely fucking horrific. What has come out afterwards is infinitely worse, but I'm glad that she feels in a position where she's okay to talk about it. I'm genuinely really fucking happy that she does. Not that she needs my fucking pride in her, but I'm very proud of her, you know? Because it takes a hell of a lot for someone to have been in that situation and then come out and be like, hey, especially when it's so in the fucking media eye, so in the public view, to turn around and be like, this is the situation that I was in. I can't stay quiet because other people are at risk. It's like, fucking hell. Yeah, that's real fucked. But as much as it is really, really fucked, I'm happy that she's found the confidence to do that, to try and help other people in the future. You know? I'm not polite about the BBC spineless propaganda spouting pundits. Yes. They never used to be, but they are now. But then so are most main news sources these days. TMJ issues, it hurts to chew at times. Ah, okay. So in which case, entirely fair. I'm not going to tell, yeah, exactly. As you said before, it's like you got the advice from a medical professional. You are not saying that that is your medical opinion, but if somebody is not able to eat for whatever reason, then there are alternatives. Appreciate that. I think it's controversial news or info on things like that is good to have knowledge on, but I just don't want to be fed lies, which is why I don't trust all news media. Not meaning to get father into respect. No, I get it, Sally. I try to view things from a variety of different perspectives, as you all well know. I am very, very, very left-leaning. However, I try to view every aspect from a very central point of view, from a centrist point of view, and then decide on my opinion afterwards. And my opinion always then leads to the left. Always. So I'll be watching something, I'll be going through it, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but from the other perspective, we've got to consider these things, and then all this stuff happened. Then from the other perspective, we've got to consider these things at the same time, and then I'm like, and my opinion is, they're all fucked. What the fuck is going on with people? Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Always try and view things from every perspective, and then give your opinion. That's my view. Bread. Love bread beard. Naan beard? A naan beard. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, Sally. A naan beard. Is that where you get a naan and you like bite the top bit out of it and like bite a little hole for your mouth and it just becomes like a big Santa beard made out of bread? In which case, I can only approve of this. As a media studies student who's currently in an ethics and media course as well as a history nerd, definitely agree. You need multiple sources to get the full story. Could not agree more. I think one of the major issues that we have, I don't know about any other country, but no, do you know what? I do know about other countries. I know, especially in America, is the fact that for a lot of the period, like from like the 50s, 60s, etc., there was still prejudice that went on. Obviously, there was still a lot of prejudice that went on. The prejudice is built within the system and what have you. But there was this whole attitude of seeking the truth. Even if it wasn't 100% honest and was like there to deal with the journalist's narrative or what have you, it was all about seeking the truth. Truth is obviously different perspective, but depending on the beholder. Truth is in the eyes of the beholder, as they say. I think the issue that we have in this world, in our world as it stands at the moment, is the fact that social media exists. And because of that, people are less interested in the truth and more interested in what sensationalist bullshit they can throw out there to sell as much as possible. Make as much money as possible. It's that capitalist idea. And you can tell this because every so often a news source that is either super right-leaning or super left-leaning or what have you comes out with a story that is completely against their usual shit. Do you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, and all gents outside between, delve deep into your bits of popcorn and throw them at the raiders, throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people coming in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine? Who do they think they are? The absolute audacity, the scandal, the preposterousness. Oh my lordy. It's Petrichor Love. How you doing, Petrichor Love? How's it going, you glorious bean? How you doing? How's things? Bless up. All of the bless ups. All of the bless ups. We raid with love and jam. Love and jam. Both of these things. Tasty, tasty things. Love and jam. Sometimes if you blend them together, things get even stickier than usual. Tasty, tasty. How's it going, you delightful individuals? Oh my lordy Max, you beautiful bean. People, go and check out Petrichor Love. What were you chatting about today, Petrichor Love? What were you nattering about? Tell us all about it, you beautiful individuals. I really appreciate that. Friends, if you're new here, 2 things you need to know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Faux pas, individuals, faux pas. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave. I am a colossal filth wizard, and I don't want to be corrupting the ears of the young. We talk about sex all the time here. Oh, Petrichor Love. Pander to my ego. Pander to it. Pander to it.
What is it, Sebastian? I'm arranging matches.
What is it, Sebastian? I'm arranging mattresses. Matches. Good old Susie. Appreciate that, Razar. Thank you very much, 100 love pandrings. Petrichor love, I will inscribe your name upon the mirror of Vane. I have finally written all of the names into the grimoire of Vane, but I didn't have time to clean down the mirror. I finally did it. It took me fucking ages, but I didn't have time to clean down the mirror because it turns out that I have run out of nail polish remover and therefore need to buy new nail polish remover in order to clean down all of these names. But I will inscribe your name upon the mirror of Vane. By having your name upon the mirror of Vane, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all those sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow. You know? People from my stream, go check out Petrichor Love. They're wonderful, they're glorious, they're spectacular, a happy-go-lucky scamp of an individual, and they are a good friend of ours here in the Cult of Vane. A good friend of ours. You were building Lego with new kittens? What kind of Lego were you building? What kind of Lego were you building, you cheeky devil? Tell us all about it. Tell all bits and pieces. We were just talking about propaganda. And I'm not talking about the gay bar in my hometown. Actually, it's no longer called propaganda. They changed the name. But that's the only bar that seems to be open till like 4 or 5 a.m. So everyone ends up there. As soon as all the other clubs kick out at like 2 a.m., everyone goes to prop. Or as it's now known as, I don't know, Babylon or something. Actually, don't know what it's called now. Broadway is what it's now called. The Broadway Party Bar and Courtyard. And I will say that the courtyard is smaller than this room and it's just a bit of slab of concrete. So it's tiny. Tiny. It's kind of offensive that they're calling it a courtyard. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Where was I? Why am I talking about, not say about what I know about centrism? Well, centrism, like, regardless of what you want to say, I can't give a duck. Centrism isn't a political movement. It's about viewing things from all perspectives. And agreeing with some things from one side, agreeing with some things from another side. I try to, when it comes to everything, absolutely everything in life, I try to view as many different perspectives as possible. Even the ones that I do not morally agree with, I try to view it from that perspective to try and understand it. Because that's the only way that human beings can actually get on with each other, is if we take a moment to try and understand each other, you know? Not every human being is going to give you that fucking benefit of the doubt, but the better of us will do it. And then after you've viewed everything from every perspective and you've tried to understand it from every perspective, then make your opinion. Which is what I always do, and you've seen it time and time again when we explore things, when we explore different dynamics within this community, different stories and different situations and dramas and bits and pieces that have been going on. We try and view things from every perspective and then we make our decision. And some people in the community are like, yeah, we fucking hate this. And some people are like, actually, it's not that bad. And I'm like, okay, how do I feel about it? And 99.9% of the time, I veer over into the left-leaning side of things, which for me personally is just a dynamic of what makes you a less shit human. Oh, look. Left-wing nonsense. You know? It's a great perspective of it. Thank you very much, Sally. Appreciate that. If news only showed one side, it's basically info filtered through someone's agenda. Same outlets pushing emotional headlines just for clicks, not to inform, but to get reaction. It's wild how two channels can cover the same event. It sounds like two different worlds. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. But you've got to understand that it's like social media as an entire entity. Social media changed the way that news works. So it used to be a case of you would get the news from your daily program, whether that be a radio program, whether that be the newspaper, or whether that be like television. And there would be, it was always left-leaning or right-leaning, but it was left-leaning or right-leaning about a specific subject, etc. These days, it's not about the giving people information. As you say, it's not about giving people information. It's about getting the clicks. And you can see that with stuff like what Meta used to do. And I don't know whether they still do, but they might still do it. Which is they will push shit that you don't like onto your timeline purely because you are, psychologically speaking, when we're talking about like overall psychology of human beings, you are 3 times more likely to engage with something you don't like as something you do like. So when it comes to social medias, talking to advertisers being like, hey, you should advertise on our platform because in the past 24 hours we've had 4.8 million clicks on things. It's usually people that are trying to find out about things they don't like over things that they do like. So that's when you get into the like sensationalist media and controversial marketing and stuff like that, where people say things not because they believe it, not because they agree with it, not because they're like a particularly evil human being, but they'll say it purely because they'll know they get the reaction. And that reaction is going to send them views. And those views will convert into money. And that's what you get. This is the reason why you have such ridiculous fucking content creators out there like Joe Somali and some of the other like big fucking dickheads out there that do really, really stupid shit, highly illegal stuff in certain circumstances, when they're like literally there's court cases being sent to prison and all that jazz, purely because of the fact that they know full well that the more sensationalist they get, the more people are going to view their stuff and the more money they're going to get. They don't give a shit about whether they're giving the right information or not. They don't care whether it's kind of like I'm going off on a rant here, but it's how I feel about it. It's kind of like when you look at these male relationship coaches, you know, the toxic men who are like, this is the way to get a woman. All women are actually just cattle and they're waiting to be led, and you've got to be the powerful man. You've got to be the alpha male and all that fucking bullshit. Those people, some of them fully believe it. Some of them absolutely fucking zealot level believe their own bullshit. But there's quite a lot of them that don't. But they also don't give a shit about the amount of damage they do. All they care about is selling their courses. Every single time that you see somebody on YouTube, anybody at all that's selling a course, question it. And I don't mean that what they're selling isn't good information. It's not that it's not good information. It's not that it's not going to teach you how to do things and what have you. But when people turn around and go, I've got this course, I made $10 million or what have you, and I've got this course that can teach you how to do it. The product is you. The course is, they make their money from selling you the course on how to make money. They are not making their money because of anything else. They're making their money off of the course. So they will do anything they can to get you to buy into that course. Doesn't matter what the course is about. Doesn't matter whether it's useful. Doesn't matter whether it's like actually good for you or bad for you or gives you the information you want, or even if it's good information. They don't give a flying fuck about that shit. What they care about is you buying the course, because that is their income. Doesn't matter how many people sign up to it. They just, well, doesn't matter what damage they do. They just give a shit about the signups. You know what I mean? All that shit. How's it going, Solarphonics? How you doing, you beautiful individual? Trying to figure out things by Straight Arrow News. They've been audited by all sides, include tools. I can't remember. There was one. I wonder if I can find. Shush. I wonder if I can find the relevant information immediately off the top of my thingies. Oh, Jesus. Let me look into that first. There is a website, and I cannot.
This works is
Shush. Shut up. I hate fucking YouTube. No, that's the VPN one. There is a website that basically is a news comparison website. I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head, but it literally gives you all of these news sources and goes, this is what these news sources are saying about this issue. And it tells you whether they're right-leaning, whether they're left-leaning, whether they're centrist, whether like it gives you loads and loads of like data around ground news. It might well be ground news, actually, Kismet. It might well be ground news. Ground news. Yeah, see every side of every story. Yeah. Ground news, that is it. Go to the ground news homepage. So, let me show you. I haven't been on this website before, but I know it exists. So, it gives you, like, all the different things. Reporting on UK asylum costs. Man dies after 3 people. It gives you all these different dynamics, and then it says whether they're left-leaning or right-leaning or centrist based on the information that they have available. Like, for example, the UK economy, this whole article is 75% left-leaning coverage, whereas 80% centrist coverage for this one, you know? So it gives you a lot of different thingies. It's very useful. It seems very, very useful. It seems very, very useful. Ground news. Yeah, thank you very much, Gecko Dev, as well. Yeah. Like, if you are somebody who is well up to date with certain things, and this is the kind of website that I would check out over certain dynamics. If I was going into like a political debate with somebody or what have you, I'd be like, cool, let's just check out that information on a website like this to find out whether it's like worthwhile, whether it's propaganda or not. Do you know what I mean? And that could be left-leaning propaganda or right-leaning propaganda, because at the end of the day, people want people to believe what they're saying regardless of what it is that they're saying. And do you know what? I'm gonna save that in my, I'm gonna add that to my little taskbar of stuff. Now what's this? Apparently, there has been, within the past 24 hours, there's apparently been a data breach of Gmail, and people are offering or suggesting that you should change your passwords if you have a Gmail account. Google have turned around and said it's all bullshit. This is me just reading headlines now because I saw something on YouTube from a journalist that I do trust saying you should change your password. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to have a look into that. Apparently there was a data leak and everyone should change their passwords. Probably worth it if you're worried, by the way, friends. That was just me literally finding out news as I was scrolling across other things and then being like, do you know what? I'm just going to give that information. If you're worried about something, if you're worried about the Gmail data leaks, please, by all means, do your own research and stuff. But if you're worried about it, it's probably worth changing your password just to be 100% sure. Do you know what I mean? Just to be 100% sure. More like a porch than a courtyard. Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't call it a courtyard. I'd call it a yard. No, there's no court in that yard on Xvoid. It's just a yard. Do you know what I mean? Echoes how I try to live. Understanding is a three-edged sword. Your side, their side, and the truth. Yeah, somewhere between The other thing is, like, do you know what? I read this book. I've talked about this book many times, and I cannot fucking find it for the life of me. Cannot find it for the fucking life of me. But when I was a teenager, I read a book, okay? And it was 7 chapters long. And each chapter was exactly the same scene. Exactly the same scene. But each chapter was from a different person's perspective, and it was in like a medieval court. So the first one was like an errant guard, then it was the maid, then it was the king, then it was the accused, then it was the court jester, and then it was somebody else. I don't know, some medieval court shenanigans or what have you. But it was like 7 different people's perception of exactly the same scene. And it was wild how massively they varied purely based on their own perspectives of the situation. And that book, I read it when I was like fucking 14 or something. So it was a really long time ago, and I cannot remember what it was called for the life of me. But that book taught me so much about just looking at things from different people's perspective. It's like, yes, I viewed it from this perspective. However, are there things that I'm not considering? Is there something that I'm not aware of? How is it that this person has misinterpreted this situation so badly? How is it that I've misinterpreted the situation so badly? It's like people have turned around and said, obviously, like taking the most recent example of TwitchCon and stuff like that, people have turned around and been like, how dare Twitch respond with such a lackluster response when it comes to the Emiru situation of her being assaulted in thingies. And for me, as a human being, I'm like, yeah, fully understand that. But I also am like, this is an official legal response that has gone through lawyers. Because at the end of the day, people like to think of Twitch as some fucking buddy pally system where it's like, yeah, it's all about community, it's all about glory, look how wonderful it is, oh, we're all here in our community, why aren't they apologizing, they're so mean and so rude. And it's like, no, they're an international $1 million corporation. They're not going to respond to people like friends. Doesn't matter who the fucking person is. Doesn't matter how badly they've been wronged. Doesn't matter how much Twitch have fucked up. They are not going to respond like friends. They're going to respond like an international corporation, because that's what they fucking are. They released another update stating an apology. No, what they did. No, they didn't. I know they released another statement. What they did was Dan Clancy released another statement. That's different. That's a different thing entirely. Dan Clancy made an official statement on the Twitch Twitter page. And that is very different to Twitch as a company making an official statement. Because by Dan Clancy making an official statement and signing off as Dan Clancy, if this gets taken to court, then it all goes on Dan Clancy's head, and he will be the one that is sued. He will be the one that is fired. He will be the one that's let go from his job. Not Twitch as a whole being sued. This is where you get into like the nitty gritty of like corporate dynamics. Dan Clancy being like, I'm friends with Emiru, and after he fucking victim blamed her, I am not fucking surprised he apologized. But after he victim blamed her, I'm not surprised he was like, do you know what? He kept talking about how Emiru's his friend. Emiru's his friend. He thinks he's friends with all of these really big fuck off streamers. And he probably felt that he needed to say something. But by signing it off as Dan Clancy, it means that he is accountable, not Twitch as a company. The first statement was Twitch as a company. So it might look all fine and dandy, but when you actually look at it from like a corporate perspective, when you look at it from we are not friends, they are an international corporation, I don't understand why people don't make that differentiation. Do you know what I mean? It's just a different thing for sure. Where was I? Petrichor Love, thank you very much for thanking Max Wattage there. I appreciate that. Where was I? Building Lego with kittens, yeah. Which is glorious. Porch courtyard. Three-sided sword. Afternoon, Zooey Booey. How you doing? Lurk while you chewing out. Yeah, do you think, you beautiful being? Appreciate you. No, if you do believe it. Oh, Petrichor Love, I know plenty of toxic men that believe exactly that shit. But the ones that are selling the courses, you have to ask whether they do or not. Some of them absolutely fucking do. 10 out of 10 fucking do. Some of them are just doing it because they know that they can drag people along to buy that course. And I've now got to a point where anybody who is ever selling a course, I'm like, how legit is this course? What am I actually going to get from the back of this course? Or is it just another thing where I'm paying out money to a person for their expertise, even though I'm not actually thinking? I could run a course. I could run several courses with the amount of information that I know and the qualifications that I have, etc. I could absolutely run courses. I'm not going to. Because I don't know, it just feels wrong to me. Press media generation versions of control, much as religion was in the past. Yep, I agree with that. It's the new religion. It's the new religion for sure. Tater Tot has all the audacity. I have no idea why any seemingly respected woman would ever grant him access to themselves. I don't know who that is. Andrew Tate? Yeah. I don't know about that. Unfortunately, Drew S. of Midian, I have seen far too many people, far too many, as you say, well, I'm not going to say self-respecting women. I've seen far too many women out there who are completely and utterly transfixed with power, reputation, and money. And as a result, they find themselves with horrifically toxic individuals because they're with somebody for their power, reputation, and money, not necessarily thinking. It's kind of like oh, what's her name, Bonnie Blue or what have you, and it's like this woman who turns around and says that she agrees with all of this toxic male stuff, and it's like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't. Like, this is literally putting you in the ground, metaphorically speaking. You know, like, why are you agreeing with these horrifically toxic men that women should be put in their place and all that jazz? And the answer is because they get the attention, they get the power, they get the relevance, they get all of that jazz. Do you know what I mean? It's all clicks. It's all clicks. One of the biggest OnlyFans models that I've ever heard of is Bonnie Blue, and it's not because she's an OnlyFans model, it's entirely because of the fucking weird shit that she says, purely for the clicks. Toxic masculine relationship coaches make me feel sick. Good, so they should. They often promote the warped version of confidence that is rooted in dominance and emotional suppression rather than genuine self-awareness. I agree. They frame vulnerability as weakness and empathy as something to avoid, which ends up reinforcing the same insecurities that they claim to help men overcome. Instead of teaching them healthy communication or emotional intelligence, they push control tactic and alpha posturing. Yep. But why do you think they do that? I know why they do it, but why do you think they do it? Not a relationship coach who embraces masculine ideals is toxic, but some take it too far. I think you've got to understand the difference between masculine and alpha. If you can understand the difference between masculine and alpha, as we talked about before, there's like a sociological perspective, which is that masculinity is not an element in and of itself. It's the rejection of femininity. Don't cry, that's what women do. Don't be a pussy. Be strong. Or it's not be strong, it's don't be weak, because that's what women are. It's not take control of your emotions, it's don't cry because you're a pussy. It's not about embracing the more masculine traits. It's about rejecting anything that anything to do with femininity, whilst also reinforcing the dynamic of you should be fucking as many women as possible, which is why you end up with this toxic behavior of men who hate femininity but want to be with women who are feminine, and that way you are strong-arming them into a position where they are lusting after femininity, but also hating it because they've been instructed that everything about femininity is something they shouldn't be embracing. Of course it's going to fuck people up. Do you know what I mean? Calling him that is an insult to potatoes. It took me a moment to realize who you're talking about. I thought it was just somebody's name called Tater Tot, and I was like, all right. But no, actually, yeah, I know what you mean. They released another updated statement. Yeah, I don't. That updated statement apologizing for everything, I think, was more Dan Clancy than Twitch. And Dan Clancy being the CEO, nobody can really argue with him. Different perspective sounds like the movie Rashomon. I don't know that movie. Don't know that movie, JMB. How's it going, Sway? How you doing, Cheeky Devil? It would be the best course in the world. It has crossed my mind many times to do a course on how not to be a cunt of a human being. That's crossed my mind. But then I don't think anyone would ever buy it because the toxic men, the people who need it the most in the world, are not going to buy onto it. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to buy onto it. That's not going to be a thing. Do it? Good lord. I think a lot of toxic masculine relationship coaches push alpha posturing because it sells a quick fix for insecurity. They market dominance and emotional coldness as strength, telling men that they control equals confidence. And it's appealing because it sounds simple and powerful, especially to people who feel hurt or lost. It's deeper than that, Onyx. As much as I understand where you're coming from, it's much deeper than that. Because you've got to understand that one of the biggest roots of... How's it going, Shorty? How you doing? I think one of the biggest roots of the incel behavior is the fact that we are in a world, as I talked about a few weeks ago, we are in a world where men are the root of all evil. Well, it's very specifically cisgender white men, but men overall are the root of all evil. And if you are a young white man and everyone around you is going, men are awful, men are horrible, look how fucking awful men are, they're disgusting, why would you ever be with a man? They're disgusting. Everyone hates men. Not all men, everyone, but they are all men. Look at all these men that are rapists, like all these men that are doing these things. It's statistics about saying that how men are fucking evil. They're evil, and then some fucking toxic man turns around and goes, hey, you're not evil. And they go, no, you're right, I'm not evil. I haven't done any of these evil things. And they go, yeah, you haven't done any of these evil things. So why are you listening to all those people that are saying that you're evil? And that little bit of support, when everyone around you is saying that men are evil and you associate with that purely because of the fact that you are a man, even if you don't want to, you do associate with the fact that you are a man. And that one person, that awful fucking bastard, turns around and goes, you're not evil. They give you that little bit of support. You turn around and go, oh, thank you for noticing that I'm not evil. I really appreciate the fact that you've noticed that I'm not evil. Let me listen to more of your words. It's far more manipulative than those dynamics. When you are in a world where you are a man and you are surrounded by all of the awful things that men do, and men do awful things, surrounded by all these awful things that men are doing, and you're being associated with them because people don't turn around and say, oh, sexual assaulters, oh, misogynists, oh, fucking bigots and stuff like that. They say men. So you go, oh, well, I'm associated with that, so I'm evil. I'm evil because everyone's telling me I'm evil. Everyone's saying I'm evil. Even though I've not done any of these things, everyone's saying that I'm evil. And then somebody turns around and goes, hey, do you know what, mate? You're not evil. You haven't done any of these things. You're not evil. Oh, that weight. I don't agree with it, but I understand why it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fucking hate incel behavior. Absolutely fucking hate it, but I can understand how people could be manipulated into it. Absolutely. because of the desperation to be seen as not an evil person. You know? And then on top of that, it's not like a quick fix for insecurity, as it were. It's then shifting the blame. Because after you've got that first little bit of dynamic, that first little bit where they just hook you in a little bit. They just go, hey, guess what? You're not evil. After that moment comes the real manipulation. Because then from that point onwards, what ends up happening is the words, Val, come on. From that point onwards, what ends up happening is they can turn around and say, hey, not only are you not evil, you're pretty good. And then the next step is, not only are you pretty good, nobody notices that you're pretty good. And they should notice you're pretty good. And then the next step is, not only do they not notice you're pretty good, they fucking should notice that you're pretty good. They should notice how good you are. And then the next step is, it's everyone else's fault that they don't notice how good you are. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that they don't notice that you're not an evil man. It's everyone else's fault. And that's how the toxicity builds and grows and grows and grows and builds into this huge fucking thing where it's like the incel behavior is nearly always, from my knowledge, nearly always along that pattern. It starts with self-doubt and then grabbing onto a tiny little bit of support and then following that support into a dangerous area that allows your brain to view things as it's not my fault. It's not a case of from my perspective, at the very least, it's not a case of being like, oh, this alpha toxic bullshit is actually a quick fix for my insecurities. It's much more manipulative than that. It's my insecurities are based around everybody else telling me that I'm evil, and now I have got to a point where it's everybody else's fault that they think I'm evil, and they should fucking know I'm not. You know? It's awful. It's absolutely awful the way the manipulation works, because everything that you have said, Onyx, is entirely correct. If people had that self-reflection, that self-awareness, that self-confidence in themselves, being like, well, so long as I don't do any of these things, it's still like these comments don't apply to me. It still wears away. I've talked about the fatigue of being a cisgender white man, and I'm not saying that justifies any of it at all. I'm saying that it is exhausting always being the bad guy, because even me, with my level of self-confidence, when everyone around me is talking about how fucking awful men are all the fucking time, I get tired because I am associated with it. I still feel the grief. I still feel the anger. I still feel the torment. I still feel the association purely because of the fact that I'm male. Even though I've not done any of those things, I still feel it. You know? I'm never going to have a go at anyone for it because what they're saying is correct. It is majoritively cisgender white men that are causing 99% of the problems in the world. They're all right. But there is a fatigue that comes with it, you know? Those women don't respect themselves. There's too much of it. Unfortunately, most of us are taught since early childhood that we have to find a provider, essentially bend over backwards, for them taking many years to dismantle that programming. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And kind of, yes. I think there's also some ego in there as well, with certain, not all people, but with certain individuals. Druidess of Midian. I think there's also ego in there. It's like, yeah, look at the powerful people I'm associated with. Yeah, look how great I am because of my association with these powerful people that are driving Ferraris, etc., like that. So yes, I think that there are dynamics where it does come down to the societal manipulation of the way that these people have been brought up. But I think a lot of it also comes down to, well, some of it in certain individuals comes down to narcissism, ego, sociopathic tendencies. Do you know what I mean? Real confidence isn't about acting superior. It's about being secure enough to be honest, kind, and accountable without needing to dominate anyone. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. 100%. But people talk about how fucking confident I am, and my confidence is absolutely about just being stable in myself. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know what's going on. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. Done and done. You know? How's it going, Mavis Moonlight? How you doing? Has some energy, so decides to put on a bit of makeup and go to the cafe. Yes! Glad to hear it, Mavis. Glad to hear it. You're living your best life. What we're doing today, always brighten my day with lots of company. I appreciate that. We're talking some pretty deep conversations today. As you can probably tell, you've been here a little while. You probably tell we're talking some deep conversations about toxic masculinity, psychology, and socio-psychology as well, which is always a fun one for me. Always a fun one for me, you know. Tied to generational patterns too. Agreed. Men who grew up learning that strength equals superiority may internalize these messages, and coaches amplify them. These result is well-view fear, ego, and performance define what it means to be a real man, making alpha posturing feel just effective, not just effective, but necessary. To a certain degree, I think you're right in regards to the generational dynamics of it. I also think there's social community dynamics as well. If you are surrounded by people that are all very masculine coded, like they're the jocks, they're the rugby players, they're the thingies, and they're all very, like, you see it a lot in military style hobbies. And what I mean by that is like airsofting, Warhammer, like paintballing and shit like that. There is a certain proportion, and I'm sure that many people, including stuff like LARP as well, where bravado and showing off how good you are comes into play. And yeah, it tends to focus around the more toxic of the masculine traits, for sure. Would you call this part of the all or nothing thinking? Oh, what we were talking, what, in the vampire therapy, the Nosferatu thinking, Luna Butterfly? I think it eventually gets there. If we're talking about like incel behavior and stuff like that, and I find it absolutely mind-boggling to me the word incel is banned off Twitch. I will keep using it. I don't give a shit. If I get banned off Twitch, then I'll launch a complaint of the fact that I am literally here trying to break apart horrific behavior and psychological dynamics like incel behavior, and they're like, you can't use the word incel, and I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, this is really important that we talk about this. This is really important that we talk about it, because incel behavior is awful and will lead to crimes. Like, will lead to crimes. That is 100% a thing. Can we not type it in chat? You should be able to type it in chat. But I know that they banned the word about a year ago. They banned the word, saying that people weren't allowed to use it in chat. They weren't allowed to use it in their thingies. They weren't allowed to talk about it. And I'm like, no, fuck that noise. It's really important that we talk about this noise. It's really, really, really important that we talk about this, because by ignoring it, yeah, exactly. There we go. Alec Wallace has just typed incel, and he got held a message for reason bullying. I will allow that message. There you go, Alec. Thank you very much for testing that for us. Also, how you doing, Alec? How's it going? But yeah, that whole there, and Rodolin as well, using the word thingy for bullying, because of course it's thingy Inshmel. I would worry that people might mistake that for Ishmael, which is just a name. We're like, no, we're not Ishmael. We're talking Inshmel. I would rather people just use the word incel. We shouldn't hide away from shit like that. Do you know what I mean? How's it going, Alexander Devonport as well? Can I get a shout out for Alexander Devonport, please? I'd appreciate that. Right, let me catch up. I'm good, drinking some tea. Love to hear it. I've just finished my tea. Or the last little bit is cold. It becomes a version of love bombing. Exactly that, Alec Wallace. Exactly that. If you feel, especially as a young person, I feel, if a young person feels pushed out by everyone around them, they will go to wherever they belong. And sometimes where they belong is whoever it is that's showing them any description of attention, positive attention, which is how these manipulators, how these narcissists, how these toxic influences really take root. And you see it, you don't only see it in like a societal grouping dynamic, but you also see it in relationship dynamics. The amount of people that feel weak, feel vulnerable, feel self-conscious, and then get picked up by narcissistic abusers. And I don't want people to get into their own stories. I don't want people sharing about their own experiences with like abuse and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that. But I'm just highlighting the fact that it can be a one-on-one basis as well. People find the vulnerability, sink their teeth in, their metaphorical teeth, and they go, cool, I can show you a bit of support. I can show you a little bit of love. And someone goes, oh my God, after all these people that have been hating on me, somebody's finally showing me love. Oh, it turns out that it was all a ruse, you know? Look gorgeous as always. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All of the glories. Humans of all genders aren't inherently evil. I think they have the tendency to be colossally ignorant and judgmental. I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt until their behavior shows whether they warrant my energy. And find most gender cis female to be hard to understand and trust. Most of your own gender you find hard to understand and trust? I mean, if that's your experience, fair enough. I was trying to break apart that a little bit, but I actually don't need to. If that's your experience, that's fair enough. I think when you strip back gender, when you strip back gender and you take gender out of the equation, human beings have the... Do I want to say that? Yeah, I think human beings as a species have a tendency to be inherently selfish. I think individuals have the ability to be the most amazing individuals that exist, which is the reason why I like to judge individual to individual, not based on groups of people, if that makes sense. It's like, is that person an asshole? Yes, they're an asshole. Not because of who they hang around with, not because of their race, not because of their religion, not because of their fucking age. That person is just an asshole for being an asshole, you know? What about Duracells? We could do Duracells. Although I feel like it gives them too much power. That was not an intended pun. Fuck. Oh my God. I hate my life. God damn it. Using the word incel in descriptive or educational ways is okay, but some people aren't allowed to direct it at someone as an insult. Yeah, people use the word as an insult all the time. But there was a point, Rodlin, where the Twitch just banned it outright. You weren't allowed to use it at all. Which was fucking ridiculous. Because it is an issue. It is an ongoing psychological issue that is affecting massive swathes of people that need to be... Because incel, for those people that don't know, incel stands for, it is the abbreviation of involuntary celibate. Which is, I want to fuck people, but no one will allow me in their pants. And it's everybody else's fault, not my fault as a person. You know? That kind of behavior. No worries, Authentic. You take it easy, beautiful bean. Appreciate that. Love biology, psychology, and sociology. I'm thinking about how our thoughts, behaviors, and societies feed into each other. I appreciate that we can talk about that here. Yeah, I like to talk about it. You know? That's how a few YouTubers pronounce it to get around the BS. Oh, is that right? Inschmells? They say inschmells to get around it? Okay, kind of like schmecks. Schmexual. Fucking hell. Gee, what is the world coming to where you can't even say words? Like, I understand it if it's like an actual slur, but when it's like a description, a descriptor, you know, like what the fuck? what the fuck? How's it going, Robblehead? How you doing? I agree with that. If you ban a word, we'll replace it with another one or bring an old one back like like being a stand. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Like whimsical fact about schmecks. Can't use the word sex on TikTok, so you got to say schmecks, which has led to some very interesting and funny dynamics. But when it comes down to stuff like incel, it's like, that's really fucking difficult because that is a genuine fucking sociological issue that we have as a species that needs to be dealt with. And you can't really deal with it correctly if you're constantly... It's like when I see sex educators, and they're amazing sex educators. They're fantastic individuals that are very, very educational and stuff on like TikTok and what have you. And they're having to use weird words or descriptors to say very scientific things. You can't say penis. You can't say vagina. You can't say vulva. You know? And they're trying to give a genuine educational thing of being like, okay, if you have an issue with your vagina or you have like this is the way to test your breasts for breast cancer or something like that. And they're like, cup your happy-go-lucky flesh mountain. And it's like, well, that undermines the seriousness of the genuine information that you're trying to give over, you know? Kels, how you doing? How's it going? Just stopped by. Kind of overslept for work today. Go forth to work. Go the Minotaur. How you doing? Cult tactics. Exactly that. 110%. And we're seeing how devastating cult tactics can be with political movements at the moment. You know, well, we're not going to get into that conversation either. A person dying of thirst will drink gasoline if they are far out enough. Agreed. Reject gender, reject humankind, become lizard. Dance with the curly tail. Gecko the dev. Promoting the lizard varieties. I think there is a thin line between being selfish and healthy self-centered, though. I think that line is exactly at who suffers. Or more to the point, the level of suffering.
Oh, you followed me. Ooh,
I think.
Little stalker.
Thank you so much for the follow, you beautiful bean. I don't like to call people out just in case they're lurking, but you are very, very welcome. Welcome on in. How you doing? Like, if you turn around and you're being like, okay, this is a situation where I need to separate myself from this situation because, like, I can't handle this situation with my current level of mental spoons. Versus, I need to cut myself off these people, and I'm going to tell everybody about why I'm cutting them out, because I'm fucking amazing, and they deserve to just fuck off. I don't really give a shit, you know. I am okay being the one who suffers. Can't stand making others suffers. Depends on what the suffering is, Alec Wallace, because I am very much a strong believer in tactical tough love. Tactical tough love. Because sometimes people need to experience emotional turmoil in order to better themselves. And it's really shit to behold. Just your statement of character flaw. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. Understanding that, though, there's nothing wrong with being really upset about other people suffering and putting yourself out there to try and stop other people from suffering. But do you know what? Many years ago, I used a comparison where I said, friends, you are a bus. You are a bus. And all of these people that you help are people that get on the bus. And you're taking them from A to B, B to C, C to D. And you're taking them all the way along the bus route. And you're helping these people out get a little bit further in their own journeys. You're helping them. They're helping them because they need you to get on the bus. They need to get on your help wagon and then travel on your journey. Which is absolutely amazing. It's fantastic that you can do that. It's absolutely fantastic that you can do that. However, if you don't maintain the bus, don't get the bus its MOT, have it a good service, change its tires every so often, make sure it's full of petrol, make sure it's sort of full of fuel, make sure it's full of oil, and the radiator's all well hydrated, then the bus breaks down. And you don't just let down one person, you let down yourself and all of the people that were on the bus. So it is your responsibility to look after yourself so that you can help other people. Exactly. Can't help others if you can't help yourself. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You burn yourself out because you're trying to put other people all the time in front of you, which I have done many, 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 many times. I'm speaking as a fucking hypocrite here. I have done it many, many, many times. If you don't take that self-care and take those moments where you turn around, somebody gets on the bus and they're really fucking disruptive because all they do is like complain about how awful their life is, but they refuse to do anything about it. And they're riding the bus and they're making everybody else fucking miserable around them. Because they agree that their life is fucking awful, but they don't do anything about it to ever change the fact that it's awful. To make their life even slightly better. They just refuse because they're determined to be fucking miserable at all times. Then you need to kick that person off the bus. Until they realize that their awful view of life is changeable. But they have to put some fucking work in to change it. You know? Their actions make them an asshole. Oh yeah, 100%. I had it a long time ago where I was arguing with a drag queen when I was 16 years old. I was outside a club, a gay club in Hull that doesn't exist anymore. And I was in the queue and this drag queen was being a fucking bitch. And I said some pretty nasty things. No slurs or anything, just nasty things, just generally offensive things. And she was like, you're just saying that because you're homophobic. And I was like, I don't give a flying fuck who you fuck. I'm saying it because you're a dickhead. It's not you being gay that makes you a dickhead. It's you being a dickhead that makes you a dickhead. End of story. You know? I'm afraid of trusting people in general, but I think part of that has to do with my autism. I look into things too deep and understand that a lot of people don't generally mean things as deeply as I look into them.
Little stalker.
Thank you so much for the follow, you beautiful bean. I don't like to call people out just in case they're lurking, but you are very, very welcome. If that makes sense. It does make sense, Trash Banto. Absolutely. Absolutely. You look for underlying meaning when they're not when they're generally speaking might not be underlying meaning. A lot of the shit that I say doesn't have underlying meaning. I am a very, very 2D individual when it comes to a lot of things I say. And people have come to rely on me of that because of the fact that I am honest. Brutally honest, but tactfully honest. And what I mean by that is I don't use my honesty as an excuse to be a dickhead to people. Someone turns around and says, what do you think of this outfit? I'll be honest about it, but I won't be like, oh my God, you look fucking vile. Why the fuck would you ever wear that? Jesus Christ. I'm just like, you know what? It's not my cup of tea. You know? It's not something that I think you look good in. Or even better, I turn around and say, okay, I see what you're trying to go for. Have you thought about doing this, that, and the other to really bring out these aspects of your outfit? A little bit of feeding back to big them up, whilst also making sure, being a good friend and making sure they don't go outside looking like a tit. Do you know what I mean? Where the fuck was I? Wild Annie, how you doing? Can I get a shout out for Wild Annie as well, please? I'd appreciate that. And on today's Valen channel, I learned. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It is given stupid power when they ban it like that. It becomes he who must not be named status. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I hate it when they ban words like this, especially when they are like scientific words. It really annoys me. Like, I can understand it if they banned something like banning slurs, for example. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But when it's like a scientific word, like a sociological word or a psychological word or what have you, like incel is the abbreviation of involuntary celibate. It's like you're banning a scientific word that needs to be talked about so that more and more people do not become incels. You know? Gender is funny. I'm non-binary, and from my point of view, the idea of masculine and feminine is ridiculous because you ask someone to describe it, it's just a bunch of stereotypes. But then describing it myself as masculine because it's affirming. Gender is funny, and mask versus femme is also very much rooted in stereotypes. And it's okay to have those, but with the understanding of, okay, I am still rooting this in stereotypes, and I'm not going to rely on those stereotypes to affirm my thing. This is one of the reasons why one of the greatest compliments that has ever been given to me in my entire life ever was, Valen, you're like gender envy. The way you dress is gender envy. Because I dress with what clothes I want to dress, and I don't really give a flying fuck about what they are. I'm just like, I think they look good. Done. Today, I am dressed particularly mask in the fact that I'm wearing a suit, I'm wearing a beanie, I've got stubble on my face, but I'm also dressed rather femme in the fact that a turtleneck at this high, it's also a women's turtleneck, the pendant, the thumb holes, the eyeliner, brings a feminine nature of it all. You know? I'm just like, I'm wearing clothes that I want to wear because I think they look good. I don't really give a shit. Don't really care. But if it works for you, if these stereotypes, which is what they are, if those solidified stereotypes help you with gender dysphoria? Is it gender? Yeah, gender dysphoria, not dysmorphia. Dysmorphia is something else. Then fucking do it. And onboard it. Do you know what I mean? Onion Pencil, how's it going? Learn to take care of me is even against the pressure. Yes. Very much so. I am a bus and I let lots of people inside me. Now you're getting it, Alec. Now you understand. Tay Cyber, how you doing? New here, just found you've been lurking, loving the vibe. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You are very, very welcome here, you beautiful being. We don't always have deep conversations. We do have them quite a lot at the moment, right? I like deep conversations. I like having the intricate conversations which help teach and us all learn and develop as people and grow as people, you know? Growth through adversity. I heard stories about the monarch butterfly a lot when I was a kid. Oh, yeah. I don't... Oh, no. Is the monarch butterfly the one that nests on trees to the point where they look like leaves? And if they fall on the ground, then they die of frost? Is that the monarch butterfly? Something about that? My wonderful partner is a bus driver. No idea how he does it. Bless him. A lot of tolerance. Either a lot of tolerance or a lot less of giving a shit. One of the two. Sometimes the same thing. First thing I was taught when I was learning complementary therapy. Physician, heal thyself. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. A doctor can't do complex fucking surgery if he's missing an arm. Do you know what I mean? Tactical tough love is important because shielding people from all discomfort doesn't help them grow. If we constantly prevent others from facing challenges or suffering, we stop them from learning resilience, problem solving, and self-awareness. By contrast, it allows some people to experience the consequences of their action in a controlled, supportive way. Removing all obstacles might feel in the short term, but it can leave people unprepared for the real world difficulties. Absolutely. Onyx Void, there is a friend of mine who was really struggling with addiction. And they are a glorious glory. This was a long time ago. But they are a somebody who's struggled with addiction or had struggled with addiction for a very, very long time. And they have a family that loves them very, very, very much. Very much. They are absolutely love them as a sibling, as a child, etc. for very much. But they loved them to the point where they could not bear to see them in a bad place.
Ooh, you little stalker.
Thank you so much for the follow, you beautiful being. I don't like to call people out just in case they're lurking, but you're very, very welcome. They could not bear to see them. This friend of mine's friends and family could not bear to see them in a bad place. So every single time that they would go around to visit friends or family or what have you, they would end up partaking in alcohol or some description of drugs or anything because they needed the escape. My friend needed the escape or thought they needed it because of the addiction. And their friends and family couldn't bear to see them in such pain. So they were like, well, just have a little one. Just have a little alcohol. Just have a little weed. Just have a little bump of something. And it wasn't until I stepped in and had words with all of the friends and family being like, you can't fucking do this. You are enabling this shit and they are going to die because of it. And like throwing down the fucking law being like, if they die, it's your fault. Because they wouldn't get it through their own heads that tough love was what was needed. All they saw was their friend in pain, their family member in pain, and wanted to alleviate that pain. And I'm like, I get it. I get the fucking need to do that. But Jesus Christ, you are making this worse. They need the tough love. They need to be told that they're not allowed to do these things. They need to be taken a step away from these things. If you want to help them, find ways to distract them that don't include substances. You know? And thankfully, they managed it. And they are in a fucking amazing place now. Absolutely amazing place now. And I'm really, really fucking happy for them. But it took tough love. Practical tough love. Not tough love for being a fucking dickhead. But it took tough love. You know? Blocked person on everything I could think of, and then they found me on Steam, telling me it was removing me on there to get the illusion they were the one ending the friendship. People like that fuck me off. But I also don't care about them. People do that all the fucking time where they're just like, I'm the one that's going to choose to remove you from my life. And I'm like, all right, I've been saying this for fucking ages. Why are you not already gone? If you need to be the one to end the friendship, bye. See you later. Go enjoy. Bye. Past week I had to learn someone I trusted took advantage of my heart and my kindness and told them I don't need an explanation. Their actions show me that I need to move on. Good. Absolutely. Fucking great. The age-old phrase of actions speak louder than words. 110%. One of the reasons why I fucking hate apologies is because the amount of people that apologize and never back it up with changing their actions is outrageous. Out-fucking-rageous. Facing challenges with guidance over never facing them all. Could not agree more. 100%. So if you ever say my outfit isn't your cup of tea, I know it means I really need to rethink my outfit. No, not all. Just because something isn't my cup of tea doesn't mean that it looks fucking awful. It's just not something that I particularly like. There are a million styles of fashion out there that people think are fucking excellent, and I'm like, I don't get it. Much like music, like the amount of different genres of music out there, and I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. All right, fair enough. Love the brutal honesty. Then you know where then I know where I have people instead of walking around on eggshells, so as not to offend them. Yeah, I got that. I get that for sure. Thank you to all those beautiful people that are lurking, by the way. We have got a channel point redeemed to allow people to lurk in peace, whilst also engaging with the chat and therefore becoming one of the glorious numbers. The glorious numbers! But I really appreciate it, you beautiful beings. You're all appreciated. I'm not going to call any of you out, but you are all appreciated. But you dress in your clothes. They are definitely your because you own them. Exactly. I wear baggy jeans and tee most of the time, but I'm not a builder. Yeah, they're just clothes. It's exactly what you're saying. They're just clothes. Clothes be clothes. Thank you so much, all these beautiful people that are using the lurk command. I appreciate you all. You're all wonderful, wonderful human beings. Okay, and you? How do you mean, Onion Pencil? I've missed the context. This game triggers convos every time so far. Oh yeah, absolutely, Sway. Absolutely. But I love it. That's one of the reasons why, like, this game and Date Everything have brought out some really, really interesting conversations about relationship dynamics, about social psychology, about self-awareness, about accountability and shit like that. It's been really, really interesting. And I love shit like that, as you all know. As much as I do turn around and say, hey, I'm Valin Vane, as deep as a puddle in summer, I also find this shit really interesting. Miss Ghouls, how you doing, you beautiful being? How you doing? Monarch butterflies are the ones that have great difficulty getting out of their cocoon. They struggle. The struggle helps push fluid into their huge wings. Their wings don't develop properly otherwise. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that about them. Today I learned. As many people are here being like, today I learned on Val and Vane stream. Today I learned that monarch butterflies need to struggle in order to fully develop their wings. Well, shit. Well, shit. So sad that people can't find ways to hang out without substances and/or alcohol. Had a friend circle where that was all they wanted to do: going to the movies, concerts, board games night. Had to be constantly on something. Yeah. Well, that's because you gotta. I don't know whereabouts in the world you come from, Tay Cyber, but in the UK especially, there is a drinking culture where everything revolves around drinking. Do you want to go for a drink? You're on fucking Tinder or Bumble. Bumble is another one, or Field or something. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna meet somebody for a drink. Want to go to the movies? Yeah. I'll just all right. Can I have a beer and some popcorn, please? Yeah, I get it. And I love alcohol. I genuinely love. I'm not an alcoholic, and I have a very strict rule on alcohol, which is if I am drinking, I need to be in a good mood, not a bad mood, not coping. I need to be in a genuinely good place in my mind where I'm like, do you know what? Alcohol will accentuate this a little bit. That'll be nice. That'll be good for me. I love alcohol. I love feeling tipsy. Absolutely. But I also fully understand the dangers of it, you know? And people becoming too dependent on it. I've seen it too many times in my life. You know, Danae Raven, how's it going? Spent 2 weeks with 3 Germans. Had to get quite blunt about my standards. I'm exhausted. Yeah, I can understand that. It is exhausting putting in your own boundaries. It is absolutely exhausting putting in your own boundaries. But it is essential. And even I, in the confident fucking way that I am super fucking confident. I'm super self-assured. I know what my fucking boundaries are. Even I struggle to put them in place sometimes. Even I turn around and like in the history of this stream, there have been times where I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to worry about saying something now, even though this person is absolutely stepping on my boundary. I'm not going to say something now. I'll say something next time. Do you know what I mean? If they do it again, then I'll say something. And it's like, no, nip it in the bud immediately. Hey, this is my boundary. You've stepped on it. Stop. You know this is my boundary. I've been very, very clear about my boundaries. I openly talk about my boundaries all the fucking time. Why are you pushing the boundaries? What is it about this that you think is okay? Having to constantly do that and constantly defend yourself is exhausting. Fucking hell, look at how exhausted the vast majority of the trans community are. Why? Because they just want to exist. And yet people are constantly pushing their boundaries. Constantly. Just for existing, you know? Or just by being outspoken. Oh, yeah, I am massively outspoken. And I also have a horrific justice complex. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing. I absolutely, like, if I see a fucking fight down the street or something like that, there is 9 times out of 10, I'll be the one to stop and get involved. Nearly always. The only time I don't is if there are vulnerable people with me, like my nephews or something like that, and I'm like, my responsibility is protecting my nephews first. Then I'll come back and get involved. You know? Justice for Dishy, don't you even, Trash Panto. Good lord. Don't you even. I respect a person if they are honest with me, even if it makes me sad because of your honesty, but lying to me and finding out that you're lying to me makes you have no respect for you, and 2 makes you 1 have no respect for you, and 2 hurts me worse than just being honest. Yeah, that's the way I see it, generally speaking. And the thing is that you can be tactical with the truth, and I don't mean you can manipulate the truth to be technically lying. I mean you can be careful about the way you say something so that it doesn't come across in a really offensive way. And I've done that before. Some of the closest people in my entire fucking life, people I love with my entire fucking heart, I have been too honest with them. I've been too honest with them, and it's made them really fucking upset. And I've regretted it. I don't have many regrets, but those moments are that I do regret, because I'm just like, I fucking hurt this person. I could have been tactical with the truth. I could have just been like, do you know what? No, you look fucking amazing. You look absolutely fucking amazing. I don't need to point out every single fucking flaw in the hope that, you know, they're going to do something about it because it'll make them feel more confident in the long run. I can just say, you look excellent. Nowadays, I have a lot more understanding and self-awareness, but that has come with time and experience, you know? How's it going, Pix? How you doing? Hi, glorious creatures. Hope you're well. Oh, and you, Val. Thanks. See how it is. Thanks. My ideal time out. A museum or craft store outing and coffee. Yeah. Put some clothes on Danae, for heaven's sake. Can't do that. Danae Raven running around 3 streams in a row. Streaking all over the place. Scandalous, I tell you. Absolutely bloody scandalous. There's nothing wrong with feeling tipsy. Just a time and a place. AAK, perfectly not drunk. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No. It takes me, it takes me a hell of a lot of vodka. So I only drink vodka these days because it's the only hangover that I'm functional on. Like, anything else that I drink kind of wipes me out for a day. But if I am drinking vodka, I can get up in the morning. I'll still have a headache and shit, but I can get out in the morning and I can be functional. It takes me far too long to get tipsy off vodka. If it takes me far too long to even feel tipsy off vodka. But it doesn't matter. I know what the legal limits are, and I'm like, cool. The moment that, even though I'm not feeling in any way, shape, or form even vaguely drunk, the moment I'm like, okay, I'm past the legal limit now, there's not a fucking chance I'm getting in a car. Not a chance. Even though mind-wise, I feel sober as shit. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no. It's not worth it. Because it might just be down to a fact of, like, even though I don't feel tipsy, my reactions are slightly slower. And that split second could mean a massive difference in an emergency situation, you know? I'm a pagan, it's okay. It's what you do. It's just what we do, right? Just what we do. Talking of honesty, can honestly say I prefer when people are honest with me. I'd rather know I fucked up than be placated and lose friends. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But again, I'm just want to hammer in the fact that there is a way to be tactical about honesty. And that doesn't mean manipulating the truth to go in your favor. That means saying the honest thing without being a cunt about it. You can absolutely just be like, do you know what? How do I look in this? That's not my cup of tea. Or not what I would wear. But maybe if you added this, it might really accentuate it a little bit. You know? As opposed to being like, yeah, it looks shit. Do you know what I mean? I used to be different, but museums and cafes are more my vibe now. My wife and I have a membership to our local natural history one. Oh, I love that. Our natural history museum's been closed for like 7 years, supposedly being refurbished, but the refurbishments have taken forever, and it's just had another extension on how long it's going to be closed for. It's like, right, what is going on here? What is happening? There are ways to do it, and there is such a thing as tact, absolutely. And I have often found anybody who turns round and says, I'm just honest, I'm just brutally honest, then usually people are, and I say this as somebody who used to say this, if they don't like it, then they shouldn't ask me. If they didn't like it, then they shouldn't ask me. I'm just brutally honest. I'm just brutally honest. That is code for I'm a bit of a dickhead and I need an excuse for being a dickhead and saying nasty things. I used to be that guy. I said some pretty fucking horrible things. I always gave people a chance to walk away. I always give people a chance to walk away, being like, no, you don't want to ask me my opinion. Do not ask my opinion. Do not ask my opinion. I want your No, but Valen, I want your brutally honest opinion. All right. You look like a dropout of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that got ordered off of Wish.com. Boom. Done. That's what you look like. How you doing, Mendes? How's it going? Single helpful comment is good. Your whole outfit sucks is not great. No. Exactly. Even something like, I really like that color, but I don't think that outfit looks the most amazing on you. So if we got anything else in that color that would work. You know what I mean? I get the how do I look question a lot as boyfriend is trying to expand his style. Yeah. And I found that I ask more questions than give opinions, which helps a lot. Oh, right. Okay. So it's like, how do I look in this outfit? And you go, okay. Can you give us an example of what kind of questions you ask, Sway? How does it make you feel? That kind of thing. Walk is also good. In my country, we also have going to have a mate. It's a cultural social interaction. Oh, that's interesting. The History Museum is still open. It's fantastic. It's the Maritime Museum. Excuse me, the Maritime Museum that is closed. That's the one that's been closed for years, isn't it, Zooey? Zooey lives in the same city as me, so yeah. Valo, I want your brutally honest opinion of me. No, you don't. Nobody wants my brutally honest opinion. You want my tactfully honest opinion, perhaps. But nobody wants the brutal. Nobody wants that. Nobody. How you doing, Alexander Griffin? Can I get a shout out for Hal? Now you've come out of lurk. Can I get a shout out for Alexander Griffin, please? I would really appreciate that, darling moderators. Sometimes you have to ask people if they want validation or a solution to things. Yes, but I find that is never a good option. Trash Panto. Never a good option. Honestly, it's the worst thing ever. If somebody turns around and goes, I would like your opinion on this, people go check out Alexander Griffin. Look at this glorious individual in the shiny outfit. They're wonderful and spectacular. I appreciate their face. And then play story games that make them cry. Yeah, if somebody turns around and goes, I would like your opinion on this, and you answer with, do you want validation or do you want honesty? And they answer validation, they're going to spend the rest of the time wondering what the honest opinion was. They are going to spend the rest of the time wondering what the honest opinion was. And that can ruin somebody's entire fucking day. What's better is if you are tactful with the truth, but validating. And then, if your friend knows you well enough, they can turn around and go, what do you honestly think? If they're happy with that, then they'll leave it there. If they want more, then they'll turn around and say, what do you honestly think? And then you can turn around and go, no, actually, I completely agree with this. Or they'll turn around and go, yeah, okay. That was the validation side of things. What I actually think is, it's not my cup of tea. You need to change these aspects. Try wearing these types of boots with that outfit instead, because they aren't doing it for me. Do you know what I mean? Also love walking. Can't do that. But although saying that, Trash Panto, when somebody, like, when it comes to things like opinions of things, that's one thing. When it comes to somebody, when they're upset or they're angry about something and they ask you something, that's when saying stuff like, okay, do you want solutions or do you want comfort? Comfort, not as opposed to validation, comfort and solutions in those circumstances. If they're like really angry about something that's happened at work and you immediately start giving answers as to how they can fix it, that can make them even angrier. So if they're like really, really angry and they're like, don't you think? And you turn around and go, okay, do you want solutions or do you want comfort in this scenario? And then they turn around and go, oh, I want comfort. And it's like, oh, in which case, yeah, completely fucking agree. It's fucking awful. Absolutely fucking awful. And let them have that. And then when they're ready, if they want it, they can ask for the solutions. Because we all think about things from different perspectives, etc., right? Right. How do you feel? Where are you thinking of wearing it? Would you get a variety of colors kind of thing? Yeah, that sounds... They seem like really good questions, Sway. It's pronounced mate? What's pronounced mate? Hey, Lanzana, I've missed the context. I've forgotten the context already. Ladies and gentlemen of all genders outside and between, Voodoo Valentine, the glorious individual, has redeemed a Praise the Mods. Could you do me a massive favor and throw out some mod loves in the channel? You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of channel. You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. Mods! Thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for all you do in and out of stream. All the stuff you do for me behind the scenes and all the stuff you do for this wonderful community. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Far too long. I can't wait for it to reopen. Yeah, neither can I. There's a specific exhibit in there that my dad helped construct when he was an architect many years ago. They might have got rid of it, but I would love to go back and see it again. How is it fitting? Anything uncomfortable? Would you wear this comfortably at work, etc., etc.? Yeah. I have a couple of people in the community that drop me a message and ask my opinions on outfits and what have you. And I give my opinions. Simple as. And again, it'll be a case of, okay, these things really, really work. That color looks fucking excellent on you. Not a fan of that particular outfit. Not a fan of like this color against your skin tone or what have you. However, some like that kind of thing in this color would work really, really well, or something like that, you know. Making note, be careful when I ask for. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm always going to be honest because I believe that lying 99.9% of the time will make everything worse. Not always. And the only not always situation I'll give you is if if you're doing like a surprise for somebody. In that case, I will happily lie for somebody. I'll happily inanely bullshit and just be like, yeah, nothing's happening. Oh, look, surprise. In that scenario, it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll lie. But most of the time, lying is more destructive than creative. It doesn't help anybody. Somebody turns around and goes, do I look okay in this outfit? They want to be told yes, but they also want to not go outside looking like a fucking dickhead. So you turning around and saying yes might be a lie, and it might make them feel good, but then they're going to go outside looking like a dickhead and somebody else might break that illusion for them. Whereas if you turn around and say, actually, I'm not a big fan of that outfit, in my personal opinion, it doesn't work, then they get your honest opinion and they can be like, oh, all right, okay, no worries. They'll go and change into something that does work. They'll go outside not feeling like a dickhead. They'll go outside feeling confident and not feeling self-conscious, and other people around them are not going to break that illusion for them because there is no illusion. They'll just look good, you know? You're very welcome, Trash Pando. Work. Don't have friends, or if you do, never give your opinion. I mean, yeah. Just don't have friends. Yeah, fuck friends. I don't have friends. I got minions and moderators. If you ask me an outfit opinion, I say, how does this outfit make you feel? Because to me, your outfit is an extension of yourself. Yeah, that's a good response. That's a good response. How does it make you feel? If it makes you feel fucking confident, then it doesn't matter what I think. Abso-fucking-lutely. Mate is a South American... Oh, I was just... Mate! Fucking hell, mate. Mate is a South American caffeinated drink. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Is it like a coffee? Like coffee? Like a fucking coffee. Jesus Christ. Well, like a coffee? Like a latte, but a mate? as I know, everything is going back. Fucking A. Excellent. Excelente. That's the thing. Okay, with different similar substance. Too lazy to double check. All right, okay. There was an entire conversation there that I missed. I know because when I went to a Mate tree grove tour, they had specifically explained how Martane is different from tane than caffeine, but it's basically the same effect. Interesting. Define okay. Kraken Crotch. Love your name every time. Define okay. Do I look okay? Yeah, I suppose giving that information is like, do I look okay? Define okay. They could be like, well, do I look confident? Do I look aesthetically pleasing? Do I look sexy? Yeah, that can help with getting some more information to find out what kind of brain space they're in, for sure. For sure. Enough of the teasing. Let Evil Valen out and roast me already. If you feel comfortable. I ain't gonna roast you, Nibrin. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. For 2 reasons. 1, because you're a glorious individual. Frustrating as that may be. 2, that is on the internet forever. And will be clipped out of context. If there's a person that can go through every single one of my YouTube videos and dislike it, then there is a person that can absolutely clip me out of context and be like, look at how fucking evil Valen is. What a prick. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Standard sort of thing. There's a reason I ask, do I look presentable rather than do I look good? Yeah, good is in the eyes of the beholder. Absolutely, Pixbomb. Abso-freaking-lutely. I ask Chunk's opinion all the time. I'm super fucking self-confident. 99% of the time, I'm fucking sweet. But every so often, I'm like, this kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. Chunk, what do you think? And he goes, yeah or nah. Chunk asks me all the time about outfits. He's like, can I get your opinion? I'm like, absolutely. Yeah, that shirt doesn't work with this entire ensemble. But then I also do the other side of things, which everyone should fucking do, which is when someone looks good, tell them they look good. Don't ask to wait for don't wait for somebody to be asked for an opinion. If somebody is just fucking wandering around the house and they look great, just be like, no, you look fucking great today. You look fucking excellent. They will usually respond with, I got no idea why. I feel like fucking shit. Or I got no idea why. I haven't slept in 4 days. And I'm like, whatever it is, no idea, but you look fucking great. You know? Doesn't matter what it is. You just look great. Done. To me, it tasted a bit of grass. Ads incoming. Thank you very much. Yeah. Nib's gently queso roasting. Yeah, exactly. Based snib. Giving them a good basting. Random compliments were awesome. Absolutely. Mate is made out of sticks and leaves, so it's like a tea infusion. Where did the mate conversation come in? Or mate? Where did that conversation even come into this? Like, I have missed the entire beginning of that conversation. I don't even know where. Like, I'm like, here I am talking about psychological complement dynamics, and you're talking about mate tea infusion stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? Where did that even come from? I will say, and this is risky as a cisgender man, I'll tell people in the street if they look good. If I'm like stood at a bus stop or waiting in the queue or what have you, I'm like, just excuse me, like, you look fantastic today. I just wanted to let you know. And then leave it at that, because I'm not a fucking creep. Not a fucking creep. I'm not saying it so that I can get in their pants. I'm saying it because they look good. I'm just like, excuse me, I just wanted to let you know that you look fantastic today. You look really, really cool. And then carry on my merry way. You know? Really, alcohol culture. They say go on, mate dates as opposed to mate dates. Thank you for giving me context, Alexander Griffin. Now I understand. I was very confused. I was like, what the fuck? What were we on about mate? Where did that even begin? No, mate dates. Mate dates. Okay. Yerba mate? I've got no idea. This is all new to me. All new to me. Definitely go out for a cuppa though somewhere. Yerba sounds like something you'd smoke. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Right, friends. The adverts are about to be upon us. When we return, we will jump into the game and study more psychological dynamics of the undead. So get up, have a stretch, stretch your eyes, look at something in the distance, and look back again. Grab some kind of beverage, hot, cold, or if the time is permitting, flamboyant as fuck. Don't forget to take your meds. If you haven't done it already, take them now, if it's appropriate time to do so. If you're wearing a binder, have a couple of deep breaths, stretch those lungs out, stretch those rib cages out, and never wear a binder longer than 6 hours, because that is what is medically recommended. Also, don't forget to check the sell-by date on your condoms and lubricant, and if you have left anything in the washing machine, now is a good time to get it out and hung up so it doesn't smell all feisty. I'll be back in 3 minutes' time, where we will jump into the game, you cheeky devils. All right, see you in a second. See you in a second. See you in a second. Okay. Welcome back, friends. How you doing? Thank you very much for waiting. I really, really appreciate it. Let me load up the game. Cheeky game that it is. Yeah, no worries, onion pencil. You're ready to eat. Go do the bits and pieces. Go do what's happening. What's occurring. All right. Mate is awful. Tastes like freshly mown grass. Costs too much. Just don't. Oh, okay. Not something that I thought I would ever be looking at, but okay, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. Not something that that immediately jumps to mind as something that I would want to consume. But then I like my black tea. Give me my black tea. I'm sweet. Do you know what I mean? Love me some black tea. I took my mates, just remembered to eat with them. Very, very good. Very good. Trash Pando, love to hear it. Love to hear it. The Yaksha Queen, hello, you beautiful being. Welcome back on in. How's it going? We're doing all right, doing okay. Yeah, just about to jump into the game. Into the joys of the game. I'm doing all right. How are you doing? How's it going? Just got an ad of Lenovo Gaming handheld played SDV. That was wild. What even is that? That sounds very fancy. That sounds very, very fancy. Join probably afterward. No worries, Tinks. I appreciate you popping by and saying hi. You cheeky little devil. Welcome. Well, go and enjoy work. I hope that it goes swiftly. Swiftly and in the best way possible. Fun, you know. Doing good, thanks. Just had an amazing weekend. Went to MCM London Comic Con and saw Raven there, but he was super nervous to say hi and get a picture with her. Oh, I know Raven. Yeah, she looked great as, was it Miku? Was that her cosplay? I know that Raven went and Denzi was there. Saw all of Denzi's pictures of her as Rogue and bits and pieces. Oh, Stream Deck verified. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Oh, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That sounds very fancy. Very fancy. Yeah. Content warning / trigger warning. Vampires and therapy. Yeah, big old trigger warning for this game, friends. We are going to be talking psychological dynamics. Obviously, these vampires are murderers because they're vampires. So they've killed a lot of people. But it does break down a lot of psychology and psychological elements and different bits and pieces. Please, 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 please. Look after yourselves. Look after your own spoons. Look after the things that you need to look after. And if you need to step away from the game at any point, please do so. Please do so. Please do not feel that you need to announce it. You can just leave very quietly. It's not an issue. Just do what you need to do to look after yourselves, friends, okay? As much as I appreciate your dedicated attention to my beautiful face, most important thing is to look after yourself and your own mental state, you know? I think she was there in everyday makeup from what I saw. She's super beautiful in person. Are we talking Denzi? Or are we talking Raven? Both of these individuals are super beautiful individuals, so I completely agree with that. I think Denzi was in civilian clothing, cash clothing for at least one day of it. Raven, she definitely went dressed in like a black and neon teal outfit, and I thought that was a character from some description of anime. But that might have just been one of the days. She might have been dressed something different for some of the other days, to be fair. It was on for like 3 days, wasn't it? 3 or 4 days, something like that. Something like that. Good evening, Samuel. I hope you are feeling well rested. I have a new client for you. Tell me about the new client, please, Andromachos.
Another one? I think my caseload's starting to get a little crowded.
No, it's not, Sam, you little shit. I'm going to have to close that curtain because I am getting blinded by the sunlight. There we go. There was like a little gap in the curtains, and the little gap was just shining directly in my eyeball. And I was like, oh, I am going to become quite blind. Friday to Sunday. At some stage, I would love to go. At some stage, I would love to go to some of the comic cons that are done in the UK. But two major issues. One, I have nothing to wear, and I would have to dress up because it's me. Do you know what I mean? One, I have nothing to wear. Two, and the most important thing, is they tend to happen around October time, and I am busy as fuck. Busy as fuck. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Worry not, my friend. I shall not unload all the world's cares onto you.
Why not? I can take it. June Aggers, how you doing? Sunlight, and you're playing a vampire game? I know, right? The outrage, the scandal, the preposterousness. How dare I, right?
I know how strongly this next client requires aid.
There we go. A little bit better. Just trying to centralize the camera a little bit. Less than 3 is a fast ticket to burnout. Yes, yes, yes. Take slow, cowboy. Exactly. Why stay? No, don't take it slow. Just burn it out. Better to burn out than fade away, right? Right? There's a London Comic comment in May. Yeah, but May is Ken month. I'm fucked if I do, fucked if I don't. Ken takes priority every May. And October is just madness.
She is a great deal older than most of the clients you've seen. And sometimes it is harder for the elderly to see reality.
That makes sense, because we talked about the Jenga building blocks.
It took me far too long to do so.
She as old as you are?
Not nearly. Thus, she should be more ready for change than I was.
Than you were. So it took you a long time to change as well, did it, Andy boy? Thank you very much, Nibbrin. Yeah. Ken, my baby. My baby. Although saying that, we may have to get rid of that website soon. Because of, you know, the things that are going on in the UK. But, yeah. Fire pretty, burn good. Exactly. Look at the pretty fire. Yes. Isn't that the point of Ken? I mean, you're not wrong.
Take a look at her intake form.
Jeezy Creasy. Her name is Med B. Age 1804. Gender female. Origins the Bronze Age. An elder vampire like myself, Medi. Oh, is that a H? All right, okay. Lived mostly alone for the past 2 millennia. She grew up among wanton violence between the Irish clan warlords and has since kept a distance between herself and mortals. She now spends more of her time online, where she's become a streaming celebrity. I mean, I might know something about that. I might know something about that. Do you know what I mean? Just, whew. You know how it is. You know how it is. I do not know what this means, but perhaps a younger vampire might. That's me. She has expressed frustration at increasing demands of her followers. Suggestion, be patient with the elderly. I love the fact that she looks really youthful. I love the fact that she's a very youthful looking individual and yet is one of the oldest vampires around.
Dang, she died young. Makes me wonder why I waited so long to kick the bucket. Could have left a nicer looking corpse.
Alas, death does not often allow us to have much choice in the matter.
That's true.
Says here she doesn't leave home unless she has to.
Indeed, it is a puzzle, as elder vampires can often be.
I sure do hope I can help her.
You will do your best, I know. Let me allow you some privacy. She comes.
She comes!
Hello?
Hello, Medi.
Hey there, how do I say your name? Is it, Medbub? Medb?
Mev is my real name. Medby's just my screen name. You can call me Medi if you like.
I love the little Irish twang she's got going on. Maeve? Or Medi?
Oh, mighty fine meeting you, Medi. I'm Sam.
Mighty fine meeting you, Medi. I'm Sam. You're an old Irish folk, and I'm a Irish happy-go-lucky man. Is this a wedding ring, or is it just a ring?
Is that all you are?
I couldn't rightly say. I ain't no more or less than Sam.
You're a cute, strange cowboy man.
I don't know that you should be calling your potential therapist cute, miss.
Not in a touching bodies way. I mean, you're more like a rabbit or a mouse. Oh, I want to dress you up in a little mouse onesie and watch you scurry about.
Okay, so she's disconnected from humanity. She already perceives others as things, as opposed to seeing them as people. Like, her first reaction is to view me as a plaything, as opposed to viewing me as a person.
You can keep your hat on and be a little cowboy mouse. Oh, I like that very much.
Which really highlights the fact that she hasn't been around people for such a long period of time. She has managed to emotionally and psychologically distance herself from humanity, or humans, people.
I'd keep you in a little cage and give you lots of cheese and, of course, a wheel to run on. You can be my whiskery little pet.
What is the matter, Samuel?
I think I'm out of my depth here, Chief. I ain't keen to be anyone's pet.
Older vampires such as myself can sometimes be uncomfortable to be around.
Free cheese? I'm in. Yeah, that's the one. That's how they get them in. Free cheese.
I believe this will be an excellent challenge in setting boundaries, Samuel. Explain to her your boundaries. You will be modeling positive behavior and saving yourself a little trouble.
Behold, older vampire, see my boundaries. You're a slut for cheese.
Yeah, just a little.
All the more reason to be clear and polite right now. Good luck, Samuel. I know you can do it.
You look distracted, little mouse. Have you smelt a bit of cheese? Did your whiskers twitch?
All right, miss, before we keep going, I think we need to set a few boundaries.
Yeah, don't treat me like a mouse. Honesty is the best policy. And cheese is even better. Right, Mavis? Right? Same one true gribble? Oh my god! That's it. I'm going to make ValenCon. And there's just going to be an entire booth dedicated to cheese. The cheese tasting booth. I don't want to wear a onesie. I don't want to eat cheese. I don't want to live in a cage. I think, I don't want to... Okay. I don't want to live in a cage. Start with that one.
About putting me in a cage and making me your pet are things you should be doing with a blood partner. Besides, I make the rules about my own body. If I don't want something, you gotta respect it or find a new therapist.
You don't want me to do things to your body?
You cut that out. I'm serious now.
She's a little flirt as well. A little flirt, I tell ya. Treat me like I'm a mouse. Give me all of the cheese. I'm so there. I'm in. Is it the second mouse that gets the cheese anyway? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, usually. I don't mind making a giant mousetrap game. That'd be fine. That'd be fun, you know. Valen non-crafting cheese table. Oh my god. There's going to be no craft table. No craft table, Pix. We've already talked about this. No craft table. Cheese, I can work with. Craft, no. There's the onesie come in plus sizes. How much cheese are we talking about? You don't have to wear a onesie to ValenCon. You just gotta enjoy cheese, apparently, you know? Apparently being extra chaos tonight. Apparently so. Apparently so. Why do you hate the arts? I like the arts in very specific circumstances. At a convention is not those circumstances. At a night out that I am hosting is not those circumstances.
Very well. Be that way.
I will be that way.
I don't eat cheese, you know that. We only drink blood anyway. Mortal food doesn't exactly agree with us.
There will not be a craft table. Craft trolley? No craft trolley. No crafts. But what about my glitter? You can smother yourself in it and nothing else.
But a mouse who doesn't eat cheese is hardly a mouse.
That's because I'm not a mouse, you dingus.
But I'm not a mouse.
Then why do you have twitchy whiskers?
It's called a mustache. But all of the ridings.
I just like the way they look.
But I brought my glue sticks. Tough cookies! You can use your glue sticks to glue down your eyebrows for really fancy drag makeup. That is all! He just has an aversion to us fiber artists. Worry we may make a yarn bomb him. I have a worry for all craft activities when I'm trying to have a night out. All of them. Every single one. Every dynamic. There was a craft area at TwitchCon EU, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is going on here? God damn it. What is happening? Around the Christmas tree and turn Val into a tree. What? Why are you like this? Why? Not a chance. Looks pretty, but oh my gosh, it gets everywhere. It does. It does. Glitter is just fun and games, right? It's the great pervader. A con is usually a day activity, you know? It's just a convention of people. It can be at any time.
So do I. That's why I think you should eat some cheese.
Well, I ain't gonna. Take it or leave it.
You're very mean for a mouse.
No, you're just very imposing of your expectations, regardless of what other people think. I don't want to wear a onesie.
First of all, I ain't gonna wear no onesie. I don't think I could find one that'd fit.
I could sew one for you. I would make the neck hole really big so that your funny hat would fit right through it.
Okay, well, maybe I wasn't being clear. I don't want to wear a onesie.
Mental note, get a silver shiv? No, a sliver shiv. What is a sliver shiv? What is that?
But it would make me happy.
Don't care.
Well, wouldn't make me happy, miss.
Fine. But I don't like it.
You are too used to having things your own way. That goes in my boundaries.
That about covers it.
Silver, the metal. Yeah, you want a silver shiv? No shivs. No shiv. I mean, if there was ever going to be a shiv in my convention, that there wouldn't be. But if there was ever going to be one, I'm glad it looks nice. But still. It doesn't want the onesie, I'll take it, right? So you're not playing into her game, which breaks her illusion of safety? No. We're not playing into her game. We're setting firm boundaries.
Yeah, you subscribed. Most kind.
Dr. K, you beautiful individual.
Have any of these vampires had a van with old pizza boxes in it?
Not so far. Not yet. But you never know. CT may appear. CT may appear. And also, mods, I've actually fixed the glitch and LOB commands now. I will inscribe your name upon the mirror of Vane. This big fuck off mirror of Vane. Not right now, because I have finally transferred all of the names into the grimoire of Vane, but I have run out of nail varnish remover, which means that I can't actually clean this down until I get new nail varnish remover. So I will inscribe your name upon the mirror of Vane for the 65th time. Jesus Christ, Dr. K. Jesus Christ. By having your name upon the mirror of Vane means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow. You know? You know? You said words. I didn't understand them. I said that I fixed the glitch and LOB, the Legacy of Balls commands. So they should now work. Lord of Blood. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Lord of Blood. Yeah, we are setting firm boundaries, being like, look, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can have these delusions if you want. That's fine and dandy, but they are not going to be affecting me. Gosh darn it. Embroidery scissors are okay, though. No craft shenanigans. No crafting, nibbering, goddammit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got them done. Finally. Eventually. Jesus Christ. Oh, the glitch command actually just needs changing as well, doesn't it? Because I've just realized that is a very current command. No, I needed this. Let's do it now. Glitch. Edit. Want to see Valen play an unnerving child? in a futuristic universe with the glorious at Peachy Pixel 8 at Sephi Pi at Tesech Ka. Ooh, spell it wrong. At Amelia Tyler. Ooh. And at oh, what's this? Hold on a minute. What's going on here? Bear with, friends. Why is... Ah. Okay, never mind. Want to see Valen play... Valen play an unnerving child in a futuristic universe with the glorious Peach Pixel, Safi Pi Tsechka, Amelia Tyler, and Tashna? Question mark? Then check out that playlist. Save changes. Sweet. Apparently I didn't read it when I changed the command. I just changed the link over. Well done, Tootin. I know, right? Fucking, I really don't like our character. Everything about this game, I think the game handholds you a little bit too much. But overall, I really, really like the game. I just don't like our character.
Very well. It's a little boring. People usually let me do what I want to do to them.
That's unsurprising. How's it going, Dapper Cogsworth? How you doing, you beautiful bean?
Well, this is less boring then. It's something new.
I suppose you're right. It's very clever, strange cowboy man. May I still call you a mouse from time to time, though?
At least she's asking the question. She's not just imposing herself upon us. A lot of people don't know about this kind of stuff, I guess. About what, psychology, generally speaking. The devs did speak with psychologists and therapists and stuff in order to construct the game. They had like lots of consultants in the game preparation, as it were. You're okay? I'm glad to hear it.
If it'll make you feel comfortable, I guess it ain't hurting me.
Like users public? How do you mean? I think I've lost the context. In the process of me changing things on my bot, I have missed the context of what we were talking about. It has faded from my little brain.
But let's get to you and why you're here. Now, it said on your intake form...
Oh, the hand-holding. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Sway. I prefer less hand-holding, but like every single time the guy in blue appears... where he's just like, so, this is this is this. And I'm just like, I mean, I could have worked that out. Let me make my own mistakes. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to, like, every single time I make a mistake, instead of there being any kind of consequences, the guy appears and he's like, by the way, you made a mistake. And I'm like, oh, okay. Fair enough. I suppose I'll pick another one and not get any kind of reprisal. General public may not know much about the emotional intelligence and psychology beyond assumed habits. Maybe, but then I feel like it should, like, that's part of the game is fucking up. Do you know what I mean? That's part of the fun of it, is the learning of the different dynamics. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it does handhold you a little bit too much, in my personal opinion. Let's get to you why you're here. Now, it's said in your in-talk frame that she's afraid of aging, she's overworked, she's confirmed about climate change. Didn't say any of these things. Increasing demand of her followers. Overworked, then? That's a different dynamic. That's different to... Other people's demand is not overworked, but all right, we'll go with that. That's fine.
You're overworked, it said. You're not my first client with that problem. What line of work are you in?
Online streaming. The context was friends we made along the way. The context was the friends we made along the way. This is how I feel about detective games that actually have good puzzle mysteries, and then some tutorial condescending mechanic swoops in and robs me of figuring things out on my own. I fucking hate shit like that. I really, really do. Like, I am glad that they have hints and stuff available for people, for like accessibility purposes, because not everybody's brain works in a puzzle mystery kind of way. So I'm glad that hints are available, but I fucking hate it when they shoehorn shit down your neck. This game, like, I'm enjoying the storyline, I'm enjoying the conversations that it produces, I love the aesthetic, and I love the soundtrack and stuff like that. Our character's a bit of a pain in the ass, but there's no like consequences to my actions. We click on something incorrectly, and it's just like, oh, you were about to do that incorrectly. Maybe you should rethink. And it's like, okay, click on it correctly. Okay, I've done the thing now. There's no like trial and error. It's trial and you'll get the right one. You know, it's far more of a visual novel in that regard, I suppose. But there's no, I would love to see more consequence. I would love to see more being left on our own to do shit. And if we get it wrong, things fuck up. That's what I'd love to see more of, you know?
I play video games.
Video games? Like Star Invaders?
Oh my god.
No, silly. More like Overcharge 2 and Pension Impact. More of an FPS and RPG girl.
Overcharge 2 and Pension Impact.
I don't know what them things are. I kind of figured video games were just a fad, like collecting ferns was in my time.
Collecting ferns.
Video games are lots of fun. There's even one where you get to play a cowboy and kill bunches and bunches of people.
Red Dead Redemption. Is that what we're talking? We're going full Salazar Fisk. Well, hello there. I don't know about that, but I do enjoy killing bunches and bunches of people. It has to be said. I like that. I also think, was the collecting ferns thing, was that a reference to the guy who made an encyclopedia, like 8 volumes of encyclopedias of ferns? There's a meme that went around the internet about a month ago, or maybe even 2 months ago, where they turn around saying autism never used to exist, and it's just like, and behold, the 8-volume encyclopedia of ferns. And that was it. It was just 8 volumes, 8 full thick books, encyclopedias of ferns. And it was just like, yeah, autism didn't exist before. No, definitely not. Loved it. Loved it.
Then you get to pretend you feel bad about it. But after that, you kill even more people.
Actually a big fan of this.
Shucks, that there might give me some flashbacks. But you're working by playing video games? How's that?
I stream on Glitch. I have millions and millions of followers there.
Hey, millions and millions of followers. On my glitch.tv/Valenvane. Ferns are lovely. Ferns are alright. Plant Daddy confirmed. That's not hyperfixation. He's just really enthusiastic. Yep. Just really, really enthusiastic.
Wait just a gosh darn minute. People are paying to watch you pee?
Of course not. That sort of thing would be on my Only Zealots page. If I could pee. Which I can't, because I'm a vampire.
Only Zealots. Only Zealots. Oh my god. Alright. All right. Autism didn't exist. Have you met waves at Renaissance artists and poetry? Yeah. Yeah. So long as a Valorant R2D2 playthrough, alas, game is long. But if you Red Dead R2D2, not fucking hell, Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough. But if you're inclined to make dreams come true, you can vote on it on the next Discord reward stream. It's true. It's true. You can do that. I do have Red Dead Redemption 2 after playing it, the RP of it. So it's definitely a possibility that could come true, for sure. For sure, if people want it, it is available in the announcement section of the Discord. You get to select what our next donation goal reward is. There you go. Thank you very much, Sandy. And look at you. Look at you promoting R2D2 will be just as fun as well. I turn up dressed like a cowboy and run around as a little droid from Star Wars. Yeah, we can work with that. This game is using the right terms. Only zealots. I feel like it's accurate, to be honest here. Look into my eyes and tell me Mozart, Emily Dickinson, James Henry Pullen, Cavendish, and Darwin were neuronormative. Touche. Touche. Not sounding like you really wanted to play R2D2 at all. No, definitely not. No, R2D2, no. Oh no, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. That's the one. I keep reading R2D2. It's too late now. It's R2D2.
All right, you gotta walk me through this.
What is streaming meaning if it ain't peeing? Of course, because I don't even understand the concept of thingies. Right.
Yeah,
What's streaming mean if it ain't
subscribed.
paying?
Most kind.
Alara.
Oh.
Morning, you Lara, you cheeky little devil, you. You cheeky little devil. How you doing, you beautiful being? Coming in for the full year. Good lord. Good lord, you cheeky devil. I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. Not right now, because I ran out of nail varnish remover, so I need to clean it all down. I've finally transferred all the names over. It took me far too fucking long to do it, but I've finally done it. But now I don't have nail varnish remover. But as soon as I've cleaned it, I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning. Look in the mirror. Good God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? You got Star Wars on the brain? Apparently so. It's because last night I ran around with a glow-in-the-dark condom on my penis, going, wow. You know? Couldn't help myself. Just couldn't help myself. All right? How you doing, Alara? You beautiful being. Welcome on in. But it isn't a bum Snapchat. It's not a bum Snapchat. That's for tier 4 subscribers only. We've talked about this. What is streaming if it ain't peeing?
Streaming means to share your computer screen to the internet.
My God.
Like watching the cinema, only instead of people shooting each other, it's you answering emails?
Sort of. Mostly people just like to watch people shooting other people. Only it's little computer people that only look like people.
Like you two here, breaking the fourth wall. Oh. Doing well, started my first week of my career. I'm on cloud 9. Fucking excellent. How are you finding it? Well, evidently you're finding it fucking excellent because you're on cloud 9. But is it good? Is it all that you hope for and more? Perhaps. That's hot to this geek. My God.
Mud. I got some more questions about them funny things you mentioned, though.
What is FPS RPG stuff?
What's all this RPG and FPS stuff?
Role-playing games and first-person shooters.
Kind of dark to be playing games about the first person you ever shot. That ain't a good moment.
You're extra silly.
Yeah,
It's a video game
subscribed.
with a first-person
Most
perspective.
kind.
It only looks as though you're shooting
How
someone.
goes it, good sir?
How's it going,
Happy
Julian? Julian as well coming in here with the 44 months. Good Lord. How you doing, you beautiful being? It's going all right. It's going okay. Busy. October is always chaotically busy, but overall, it's going very, very well. How are you doing? How's things? How's work treating you? I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. Can't at the moment because I still need to clean down, but I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes, but the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror. You God, I look rough. But god damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow. You know, you cheeky devil. Whoop. How's it going, you cheeky devil? How's things? Jump back in. Is all I hope for and more. Never thought I would be able to do my dream job after graduating. Oh, I love that. That's so fucking good. Besides a blank piece of paper over, this is my tier for subscription. I just need to put my own number on it. Alexandra Griffin? Is that what you're telling me? You've slid me over a blank piece of paper that I can fill in as I see fit. That's dangerous. All right. Tier 4, bum Snapchat. Tier 5, whoa, God knows where that goes. Tier 6, whew, outrageous. Tier 9, you get to wear me like a hat. Some days. Man, you know, life has the ups and downs. It certainly does. Work is okay. Life happens when you don't expect it. I have some unfortunate events, but making the best out of life and trying to keep my mind in a good place. Good on you. Good on you, Julian. As I've said for the past couple of years especially, life has a tendency to throw shit at us, and all we can do is our absolute best to make ourselves a little shit mountain. Yes, make the best of whatever life is throwing at you, for sure. For sure. And I'm glad that you're maintaining that mindset regardless, you know. That's awesome, especially since a lot of people graduate without being able to break into their industry. Is huge, most certainly. What did I come into? Nothing, Nozium. No, don't even talk about it. It's all fine. No, nobody say nothing. Not a thing. No. Tier 10, you just get to move in and make coffee. Yeah. No access to my very nude form. You just get to make me cups of tea every 2 hours. I thought tier 9 was you wear you like a glove. That is also, that comes in the same thing. It depends. It's a lucky dip. Dapper Cogsworth. Sometimes it's wear me like a glove. Sometimes you get to wear me like a hat. You know, it works. It works. Do you know what I mean? Tier 4, Alexandra, you have no ambition. You have no ambition. God, come on now. No ambition at all. What's going on there, right? I'm on a very angry work call. Hope you well. Don't like to yell at people, but I may need to. Nauseum, some people need to be yelled at. Simple as, really. Tier 69. You don't even want to know what happens at tier 69, Alexandra. All right? Some shit can't be unseen. Some shit can never be forgotten. Tier 69. Good Lord. Good Lord.
I like the ones where there's lots and lots of blood. I end up feeling quite hungry.
For somebody who's a complete this kind of makes sense that if she's a complete shut-in, she never actually associates with any kind of mortals or vampire kind. And she just allows her impulse decisions to get carried away with her. Like, I can understand it.
Are they still using corn syrup to look like blood? It never looked realistic to me.
They don't use corn syrup in video games. You're very funny.
I'm glad I'm funny, I guess. Let me ask you something else about these video games.
What is Only Zealots? This game is supposed to be amazing. I am finding it mostly good. Like, I find I was just saying, I find the dynamics of the characters very, very interesting. I find the personalities of the characters we speak to very, very interesting. I love the aesthetic. I love the character design. I love the soundtrack. The atmosphere of the game is really, really good. I do not like our character. I just don't gel with him at all. And I personally think that the game holds your hand a bit too much. I think it holds your hand a little bit too much. I don't feel like there's any consequences for me getting things fucked up. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, you fucked up. Try again. It's like, where's the consequence for me fucking things up? Do you know what I mean? Unless we've literally on fucking stream 3 or whatever, and this is still a tutorial, which is a possibility, I suppose. What is Only Zealots?
What's Only Zealots?
That's a very special website where my very special followers get to see me do naughty things for money.
Uh-huh.
You've been around a long while. Do you need money?
No, of course not. But I do like having mortal blood bags who will do anything for me. They're very useful.
She's made her own cult.
This whole thing makes me feel old.
But you're only a baby vampire, strange cowboy man. I'm glad you're not the kind of baby who poops and pees, though. That's quite icky.
I love the fact that she's like 1800 years old and yet has the mentality of a very dominating, narcissistic ego.
I had some more questions.
No, I didn't.
All right, I think I understand a little better. You're working pretty dang hard for all them followers. What do you need them for?
Being Spooktober and all, what other trope of monsters would you think would could really use some therapy? Well, Frankenstein's monster. I mean, Frankenstein himself, but also Frankenstein's monster. Solid call. They could definitely be using some therapy. I don't feel like werewolves would particularly need any. There's a good chance that an ancient Egyptian mummy, as the trope goes on, would need therapy. The idea of coming back from the dead in a shriveled corpse wrapped in bandages with no internal organs would probably fuck us up for sure, I reckon. Some people find that hot. Some people do. Some people do. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would need couples counseling. That's hilarious. I love that. I love that. Counseling? I love it. I think autocorrect is doing you dirty there, Dapper Cogsworth. Vampires would probably need a lot of help. Yeah. Well, this is so interesting. What makes this so interesting, for sure. I feel like werewolves are living their truth. We are werewolves, not swearwolves. They are definitely. They're like the hippies of the supernatural world. Do you know what I mean?
Lots of things. They pay my rent for me. They buy clothes and gifts for me. They dispose of all the bodies. And they let me kill them, too. They're all so eager to die. Poor little lambs.
No wonder she's disassociating from like humanity.
They're like servants?
Servants, little sheep, whatever you'd like to call them.
Because she has formed a cult around her that literally worship her like some description of God. And we all know from ancient fucking civilizations what people like that were like.
And they're willing to just up and die for you.
Oh, naturally. Sometimes all I have to do is smile for them. They find it enchanting. And they quite like my breasts and vulva.
Wow. Wow. And that isn't a wow in the regards of people her saying they quite like her breasts and vulva, purely down to the fact that they've used the correct anatomical term. They use the word vulva instead of vagina or pussy. Love this. Love this. This is great. More correct terminology, please. Am I the only one distracted by the fireplace? The animated by the candlelight above is static. This one's animated. These three are animated. The fire's animated, and these two are animated. But yeah, none of these ones are animated, and these ones aren't animated. Huh. Huh. I'd never even paid attention to that, Gecko, I have to say. Maybe it's the dev in you being like, oh, hold on a minute. As some men would say, I can fix her. Don't worry. That's not just men. That is just human beings. Human beings, don't worry, I can fix them. It's great. The other ones are, but not the ones by the mirror. I don't think these ones are either. No, they're not either. The ones on the coffee table.
Oh, I see.
Does it make you uncomfortable to hear me say breasts and vulva?
I reckon I just wasn't expecting that level of candidness.
Breasts, vulva.
Okay, now she's just milking it for all it's worth, apparently. The dev in me? Nah, day night is over. They went home.
Hey, come on now.
Oh, but it's so much fun to watch your little whiskers twitch.
Yeah, I think I think this is one of the reasons why I'm really struggling to... I feel like other people might be able to get into this character a lot more than me. But because of the fact that I fucking love having these conversations, because of the fact that I'm very open and honest, because of the fact that I have this very chill dynamic, I just find it really hard to connect with our character at all.
So, these followers of yours do a lot of work for you, huh?
But I have almost 100 million little sheep. It's rather difficult to manage them all and keep them happy.
That makes sense, but that's because you try and keep them happy. Did I tell you I finished my A World of Darkness VTM run with a character based off my dad, Vietnam vet, vegan, in the vampire sense. He only fed off deer. Oh, right, okay. No, you did not. That's the first I'm hearing about it. Jesus. She's milking her breasts and vulva. Oh my god, Druidessa Midian. I mean, she was, but still. But still. God damn it. At least she knows, like, for somebody that old, for somebody who's 1800 years old, at least she understands and appreciates the wonders of the breast and the vulva. Because the Bronze Age, to my knowledge, the Bronze Age was not known for its sexual awakenings. You know? It wasn't known for its cult of orgies. To my knowledge. I haven't really looked into the Bronze Age, so if I'm incorrect, please correct me. When I played this, I found it extremely hard to connect to Sam. I was excited because he was a cowboy, but he's just so naive, simple, and clueless. I have to say, Miss Schools, even though we did Red Dead Online, or Red Dead RP, should I say, I have never really connected with the whole Wild West cowboy thing. Like, I've never found cowboys to be particularly amazing. It's never, like, grabbed me in a way. I did it because I really like roleplay, and I love the characters. Like, I got into Red Dead RP because of the stories that everyone was telling together. I really liked that. That was really, really fun and cool and what have you. It wasn't necessarily the cowboy element of it. It was the interaction that really got me. Victorian stuff, very, very different. Love Victoriana Britain as an aesthetic, as an atmosphere. Not necessarily what they did, but as an aesthetic and an atmosphere. No worries, Sway. Ooh, big news meeting. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Break a metaphorical leg, you cheeky devil. But the cowboy thing, it's never grabbed me. Do you know what I mean? And I think one of the things that I found really obscure about it is the fact that we're meant to be in Europe somewhere. So I'm like, why couldn't we at least have the option of being a different character? You know? Because I also find him very naive, simple, and clueless. And I'm like, I just don't connect with him at all, you know? Playing a vegetarian vampire is such a cool concept. What, as in, just doesn't feed off humans? It's certainly different, for sure. I've met quite a few people that have had that player dynamic where they only feed off animals. Eating their enemies in the Bronze Age, so they might have had an understanding / appreciation about anatomy in a way. Maybe.
Why do you need to keep so many servants happy?
I need my sheep. If I don't have them, I'll have nothing.
The difference between cognitive distortions. If I can't guess the best saddle, my butt's gonna break, ain't no doubt. Either I show up ready to win the rodeo, or I better not show up at all. And the control fallacy with my dark powers. If a mortal discovers my secret, it's entirely my responsibility. Okay, I think it's Nosferatu thinking.
Is it really true
It
that
is.
if you don't have your followers, you won't have anything? Ain't you got other stuff you're interested in?
Okay, that's good. The overlap between these things is really annoying. Because there is overlap between them, but they are very regimented in what's what. I think it's kind of odd to have vampires that are 100 plus years old and they're clueless to modern things. Like, I understand having to hide themselves, but how do they not have learned anything modern? I can understand it, Miss Ghouls, because it depends on the dynamic of the vampire. Like, vampires that go completely off grid, that stay away from fucking all humanity because they consider themselves to be monsters and stuff like that. That's not too much of a stretch of the imagination. There's also a million challenges, especially as technology gets more and more and more advanced with, like, fake IDs and cameras and not breaking the masquerade if you're in the whole dynamic of Vampire the Masquerade and stuff like that comes into place. And there'll be a fair amount of elder vampires that just goes, can't be arsed with this, I'm gonna go live off the grid somewhere. Gonna find some poxy little town and stay in that poxy little town, you know? But I can also understand, because there's also part of me that remembers that vampires used to be humans, and therefore they might have a lot of human traits. How many old people do you meet where they're like, oh yeah, don't do any of that technology stuff? They don't even they barely know how to work a smartphone, never mind anything else. And yet some people that are like, oh my fucking god, like clued up tech head old folks, and then you get some that are just like, I don't handle any of that shit. I'm not interested. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'd rather go to the pub and play pool or something like that, you know? I'm about to bring up the same point. Yeah. I'm with you there. Can't connect with the main character at all. He means well, but he doesn't match with all the how vampires have been around as long as he has and the things he has. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that just don't really make too much sense. As much as I struggle with our old cowboy vampire, I find it refreshing to see vampires outside Victorian noble cliche. I want to see more normas with fangs. Yeah, I wouldn't be against them being from somewhere else, or being like I don't know, a Cockney chimney sweep or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's plenty of different things he could be, but I just don't gel with the whole idiot cowboy thing. Or not idiot cowboy, the naive cowboy. What we do in the shadows was brilliant. What is vampires but idiots? Yeah. I'm 50. I struggle with using this Chromebook. Yeah. There's comic books whose names I can't remember, but that's supposed to be about a vampire cowboys. I need to get my hands on it eventually. Yeah, I do remember something about that. But then they've done all of it. Like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, pretty much with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, vampires became super fucking cool again. And everybody wanted to do vampires. There was a fucking novel called Vampirates. It was all about vampire pirates, and it was shit. Well, what I remember of it was shit. It was just like, fuck's sake. Any kind of amalgamation of stuff, you know? Vampire Bite Club was a decent comic series. No, it's gone way over my head, I'm afraid. Time for a long look into my soul before I go get ready for role-playing, where I deep dive into Witch's Hole. My lordy. Not even really making that up. I never said you were. You deep dive into whatever hole you fancy, you cheeky individual. Good lord! What do you like, Astra? Coming over here, getting a cheeky little smolder. Outrageous. Outrageous, I tell you. Good lord, what do you like? What are you like? Scandalous! Scandalous and preposterous! Good lord. Good lord! I mean, really. Getting a smolder while we're psychologicalizing. You know? Dick Van Dyke Cockney chimney sweep. Vampire. I mean, not quite Dick Van Dyke's accent. Listen here, love. Is it really true that if you don't have your followers, you won't have anything? Ain't you got other stuff interested in you? No? Hey? What the fuck? Come on now.
Suppose I enjoy reading and video games, and I can do those things alone.
Exactly, you can do those things alone. Thank you very much, Nimbrim. How's it going, the Berserker? How you doing? D&D has vampire pirates in space, and I love them. That's too many breaches of my understanding of vampires to work for me, I'm afraid. Best vampire TTRPG of late is Eat the Reich. An alternative history where a pressured alliance chooses to revive an ancient vampire that has to go ham on the Nazis. That's wild. That is wild. There's a soft place in my heart for Vampire the Masquerade. There will always be a soft place in my heart for Vampire the Masquerade. To the point where I was watching Spider Cookie play Vampire the Masquerade Redemption this morning, and it brought back so much nostalgia that I immediately installed the game back on my computer. And there is a good chance that at some point next month we will start Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Just because I really want to... We'll have a nostalgic November. Do you know what I mean? The pre-Bloodlines, early 2000s Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Because I fucking love it so much. Mary Poppins is a vampire. Hello there. That could work, though. I could fully see Mary Poppins being a vampire. I'm practically perfect in every way. Now, die. Rats won't get to bed. Eat them. God blimey, Mary Poppins. Oh no, that's still anywhere. Oh, I know it. Don't you worry, Mary Poppins. This here is Betty. I suppose that you would enjoy weeding, wouldn't ya?
There's also playing games with my body.
You like masturbating and reading. Okay, cool. Still use Vampire Masquerade clans to like stereotype some of my friends. Understandable. Understandable. A nostalgic Nosferatu November. I do want to play a run at some stage in the future. I want to play a run of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 and play a Nosferatu because I have never played a Nosferatu in VTM and I really, really want to play it. Because I feel like that is going to be a completely different gaming experience to every other clan purely because of the way the Nosferatu are.
Oh, yep, there's that.
Which Americans don't do. You like to shoot people instead. Bang, pow,
I like the way that she's taking the piss out of us. That makes me very, very happy. I get really kind of, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit frustrated at how prudish our character is. Our character used to be a bandit in the Wild West. A bandit in the Wild West. He will have visited many a whorehouse. Presuming that he didn't indulge in most of the things that bandits indulge in when they go on raids. He is not going to have been shy to the way of life and things. So why the fuck is he suddenly being like, oh, I'm your therapist, but I'm getting really embarrassed about the fact that you're saying stuff like vulva. What the fuck? He wasn't like a to-do politician American. He was a bandit. He killed loads of people. He got drunk and went off a whoring. Do you know what I mean? It's like therapists should be quite knowledgeable. Therapists really need to. If they're not knowledgeable about sexuality, what the fuck is going on? There's so many issues that are based around, so many issues that people have either are based around sex, sexuality, sexual congress, or in somehow affect sex, sexuality, sexual congress. Sexual non-concordance. Performance anxiety. Too much pressure on the sexual break, all this jazz. There's so many dynamics. The whole idea that this 200-year-old vampire is like, 200-year-old cowboy bandit vampire is just like, well, I don't really, you're talking about the sex things. Good Lord. So I appreciate Westworld, no shying away from just accepting the horniness of their guests. I have not seen Westworld. As I said before, like, cowboys aren't really my go-to thing, you know? You're telling me after all that time he never got drunk and went whoring? Give me a break. Exactly!
That ain't always true. But let's get back to what you were saying.
If I don't make them all happy, they'll turn against me.
If I don't make them all happy, they'll turn. That seems like Nosferatu thinking. Again.
That's some pretty extreme thinking.
Okay.
Your followers can't all be that fickle.
There was a point there where I was like, okay, are we disqualifying the positives of the fact that all the followers, will come for it? Like, they've got to be doing some good things, Is it a control fallacy because she believes she has control over all of these followers when she doesn't, Wild West ladies were far from discreet, delicate flowers. Many a madame ran things around. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The madames were usually in charge of the dens of ill repute.
The idea that you can make everyone happy is something that ain't in anyone's power.
It's true.
And assuming you have no control and they'll all turn against you ain't true either.
It's the old phrase, you can please everyone some of the time, or some people all of the time. Never both.
That's true, I suppose. I can do things you couldn't dream of. But I won't show them to you because you're an American.
And now you're making judgments?
That is much appreciated, miss. And now about the stuff you were saying.
All I'll be is the lonely, crazy girl with a flat full of stinky corpses.
Labeling?
Let's ease off them labeling terms. Don't go calling yourself crazy.
But you will have a home full of stinky corpses.
But I am crazy. And I know how strange I sound to these short-lived creatures.
I reckon I might sound the same if I were around as long as you and seen some of the stuff you've seen. Besides, crazy ain't got any kind of real meaning. What's sane? You've been around a while, you know them definitions change all the time.
I mean, that is accurate.
I suppose that's true. Don't think any of us are really sane.
Also very true. Given what some people consider to be sanity, I'm not sure I'd want to be.
I think that's a heck of a lot closer to the truth.
I just want to look at my body parts anyway. Don't have much else to share, it seems.
Disqualifying the positive.
Come on now, you've been around for nearly 2,000 years. How in the heck could you have nothing to offer? I'm sure you could tell me all sorts of things about history and the places you've been to and the things you've done.
Very true. You've been around for nearly 2,000 years.
If I talk about things I like, my followers abandon me. Fickle little bloodbags. They always like it when I show off, though.
Then why are you giving a shit what they think?
That's a problem with your followers, not you. Don't go disqualifying the positive things about yourself just because they don't see them.
It's true.
You're very kind, Manling. If you were one of my followers, I might even let you live.
A very kind gesture, miss.
Thank you for letting me live.
I can't help but think, though, I should make my little sheep happy. After all, they are willing to die for me.
Should?
You say you should keep your followers happy. Do you like it when they're happy?
Just because I kill my bloodbags doesn't mean I wish to be cruel.
That's not what we said.
After all, they're so cute when they die with smiles on their precious little faces.
I'm glad to hear that, but here's the thing. When you say you should make them happy, you turn it into a responsibility. If you got 100 million people you should please, that's pressure you don't need. Get what I'm saying?
You are too sweet, little mouse. Like a sugar mouse. Someone might try to eat you.
And now you are distracting. You are moving us away from the topic at hand because it is making you deeply uncomfortable.
If they already did, how do you think I turned into a vampire?
You make me seem very silly for worrying so much about my blood bags. I'm not a very good vampire, am I?
You just haven't thought about it before.
Well, what's a good vampire supposed to do?
Oh, my blood father used to tell me that we were supposed to be gods.
Okay. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. That explains why she has this mentality the way she does. Kind of like child celebrities. Kind of like the way that Justin Bieber grew up. Always being told that he was the greatest thing that has ever existed, ever. And then he becomes an adult and people wonder why he acts the way he does. And it's like, well, yeah, because you've taught him to be a narcissist.
Told me that we would rule all humanity. I imagine he'd be ever so disappointed in me.
So?
Well, blood parents are always complicated. They like continuing their legacies, but people ain't too good at being anything but themselves.
I wish someone would tell him that. He's a very bad listener.
Maybe I will. Maybe your darling blood father will come see me.
Well, you should be proud of yourself for getting away from him. I know it ain't easy.
I didn't leave him. The druid sealed him away long ago. He'll slaughter us all when he escapes. And there will be nothing we can do. Oh, it's gonna be ever so much blood.
Nosferatu thinking.
I think we can handle a vampire. There's a lot more of us now, and I bet the bastard ain't even heard of a gun.
That was wrong. But for the first time, we didn't get a guide saying, hey, that was wrong.
You don't understand. He's a wizard.
Merlin.
Well, last I heard, wizards ain't bulletproof. Let's give ourselves a little credit. I ain't gonna worry too much about this fella. Besides, if he is coming back to kill us all, we only got so much time to enjoy, right? These dang followers of yours have got you stuck at home, though.
It's better this way. It's not safe outside.
Well, why do you say that?
Because there are bad people out there. They've tried to burn me, touch me, enslave me. They are cruel and horrible.
Okay. This again could be Nosferatu thinking, because it's black and white thinking. Control fallacy, because it's talking about their control over stuff. Not a should statement. Could be disqualifying the positive, not labeling. Nosferatu thinking.
I know you've been through some tough times, Mitty, and you got a hell of a lot of reasons to think people are all awful. But those experiences ain't the be-all and end-all. There's a lot of bad, a lot of good, and even more in between.
That is true.
Maybe. But it's safer to assume that it's all bad. Mortals are very afraid, and when mortals are afraid, they are quite cruel.
That is also true.
That's more of that all-or-nothing thinking. There's billions of people out there now, and more differences between each and every one of them than you'd expect.
But I don't need to endanger myself anymore. I have my sheep.
I'm sure we'll get to talking about them real soon.
We can talk about them now. They help me stay in my flat. If I stay in one place, I have power. Instead of them burning me, I can burn them. And touch them and enslave them.
Control fallacy.
With all due respect, miss, you're playing with sunshine here. Life is always going to change. That's the one thing we can be sure of. Your retreating from society is only going to make it harder to face the changes ahead.
Again, very accurate. The one thing we can guarantee is that things will change.
Such as when the machines arrived.
What machines are you talking about?
The ones in the factories. The ones who made me leave the bog. Did not like that very much. Not at all.
Oh, were you a bog witch for a while?
Oh, look, I didn't want to upset you. You're here to handle the world a little better, and that means being honest about what might happen. That makes sense?
Yes. The machines keep getting stronger. I should be ready for them.
You are very paranoid, aren't you, Medi? Understandably, given what you've been through, but you are very paranoid.
All right. Well, let's keep talking.
They used to call me Calich Namona, the witch of the bog.
You were a bog witch!
I like it that way. I like it when they think I'm a monster.
Labeling.
Hold on a sec, Mitty. I get that there's safety in people thinking you're some kind of monster. But what I can't abide is you calling yourself one. Names have power. You know what they used to call me?
Fuzzy McWhiskers. Scaly Tail Sam. Ooh, Scurrying Sam.
They called me Slaughtering Sam. And as you might imagine, I didn't earn many friends with that name.
That's not very cute at all.
Just exactly. Apparently, our character went round wanton murdering people to a point where he got a nickname called Slaughtering Sam. But the moment she talks about her own tits, he's like, I don't know about that, Missy. You need to not talk about your boobies like that. I killed 200,000 people, but you don't be talking about your titties. Oh my God. You know?
No, it ain't. I didn't feel cute neither. I felt like an evil bastard, and that ain't a good feeling.
It didn't say I liked being a monster. It just makes me feel safe.
Then let's find a way to help you feel safe without calling yourself a monster then, huh?
Exactly. Kind of going full circle to our conversation earlier about how you can feel safe without being a toxic man. The conversations with incels, where it's like, I feel safe being a toxic man, but let's find ways that you can feel safe without being a toxic man.
If I want to be safe, I should show them what a monster I really am from the safety of my lair.
Should statement.
Well, why should you show them what a monster you are?
Yeah, why?
So that they'll know to stay away, of course.
And is that the only way people will stay away?
It's the way I know. I used to put severed heads outside my cottage, but the policemen don't like that very much.
No, they don't. No. It's very American of him. Is that how the Old West would be? I suppose, to be fair, Alexander Graffin, you have pointed out there, like, they do love wanton... Well, no, that's a vast overstatement. The American public seem to be far more accepting, on a general scale, painting everybody with the same brush, of murder in the streets as opposed to watching pornography. So, I can't deny that, considering that so many states have banned Pornhub, but are perfectly fine with lax gun controls. So yeah, I can understand what you're saying there, actually. It's very American of him. He is perfectly okay with wanton murder, but feels really abashed by a pair of titties. Nothing says obey me like a bloody head on a fence post. Yeah, the other thing that she's absolutely not thinking is the fact that when so many people get to a point of fear, they rally together and hunt down whatever it is that is making them scared. As we find an awful lot with vigilante justice and shit like that. The only saving grace would give this scene if it was a cowboy said that he felt the girlie was way too young based on her appearance, not how old she actually is, giving some interest to the age of the vessel, to the age of the vampire. Yeah, I struggle to find a lot of the things that Sam says breaks the immersion for me. Violence is okay, but boobies? Terrible. Even though we encourage you to want the boobies, but you're not allowed to look at the boobies. You gotta want the boobies, but not look at them. Very important. Also, here's a gun.
So what if I said you should protect yourself by putting severed heads outside your place again?
So he's teaching her how change has happened. Yeah, he just drags me out of the immersion a little bit. The prudishness is turning me off. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. More like you have to want the boobies, look at the boobies, but never mention the boobies. No, because of the whole dynamic of them banning pornography. You're only allowed to look at the boobies of women that you have married. That is it. Only those boobies. But at the same time, we're going to encourage you to want every other type of boobies through the medium of advertising. And then you're allowed to go and cheat, but not if you're a woman, only if you're a man. Misogyny, capitalism, control, all that jazz. And all that jazz.
I'd say you should learn otherwise. The police can be very mean.
That's what I mean. Should doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room. It might seem like it's just words, but them words can lock us up tighter in a bank vault.
It's very true.
But let's keep talking.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
That's very black and white thinking, but I think it's a control fallacy. It's not a control.
Ancient vampires are very few. I can tell you with some certainty that your client is very good at hiding her true capabilities, perhaps even from herself.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway.
See what I mean?
Well, I've known for millennia.
What?
I can't survive in society now.
So why was it before in the game I got a wrong answer and it was perfectly okay me to get that wrong answer? But now he's giving me a guiding hand. There's so many overlaps in this shit that it doesn't allow for, because that is a control fallacy. I can't survive. I can't do this. I have no control over it.
You know, you're what, some 1,800 years
So
old?
many
You're
overlaps.
older than any government on Earth. You've seen the world change in ways none of us could dream of.
I think that's the dynamic of this game. This game is the writing is very, very good. I really like the writing of it. Even though like Sam isn't to my cup of tea, I really like the writing of the game. I find the gameplay frustrating. I think that's what it is. I think I'm honing it down to where I get a little bit frustrated with it. I find the gameplay frustrating because a lot of these little options like overlap each other, and you either get the right one or you get handheld into getting the right one, or occasionally you can get a wrong one, but it's not going to explain to you why that one isn't handheld. Like, it's just... What? What is going on? What is happening here?
Hell, you basically won the internet, and I can barely open up my Vmail program. You're way more capable than you're giving yourself credit for.
Agreed.
I suppose that's true. But I'm not very good with real life people. Unless I'm eating them.
Gives you an opportunity to become good with real life people. How's it going, Tink? Welcome back.
You're still disqualifying the positive by canceling out all them skills you got. You can use all that modern lingo I've barely even heard of. You dab, fam?
Oh my god.
That was ages ago.
Even I got upset with that one.
See what I'm saying?
You are very clever, sweetling. It is easy to forget how small and weak mortals are. But the world is a big place full of things that might try to hurt me.
Well, before you face the world, why don't we start with your neighborhood? Let's start slow. Take a walk around your block, 15 minutes a day. Just spend a little time outside looking at the moon.
I suppose if anyone tries to hurt me, I should be able to kill them or enslave them.
There you go.
Very well, strange cowboy man. If anyone does kill me, I'll simply become a ghost. Then I can whisk myself up your bottom with a little ghost needle and poke at your guts.
I don't think it'll come to that. Just spend some time outside and see how you feel, and we'll talk again in a month. Sound good?
Very well. I suppose my followers outside must be eager to carry my coffin home. I promised I would eat them when we got there, so shouldn't keep them waiting. Farewell then, little mouse.
Hoo-wee!
Okay.
Well done, my friend. You seem a little out of sorts. Are you quite all right?
She was something else.
Like so many of our kind, she simply struggles to adjust to a constantly changing world.
She seems to be doing perfectly all right in many ways.
I think you will be of great help to her. She clearly likes you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You are under my protection while you are here, Samuel. I guarantee no ghosts will travel up your posterior.
What a statement. What a statement. I guarantee that no ghosts will travel up your posterior. There we go.
You have done excellent work tonight. Please, relax downstairs. Summer will be here before we know it, and the night... Rest in peace, my friend.
The night shall become short once again. That's what I think is probably one of the biggest downfalls to being a vampire, is just how much the sun is out. Especially if you're the type of vampire that, like, falls asleep as soon as the sun, like, rises. It's like, okay, you are finding it unbearable to stay awake. You know? That kind of thing. I would struggle with that. Plus, I like the vitamin D. That vitamin D!
Tarnation. I'm glad the kids here aren't glued to their little TVs. I wonder why that is. I'll bet Crimson knows.
Hey, Crimson.
Giddy up, little doggy.
I ain't heard that one in a while.
Truth is, I'm running out of cowboy terms. What can I get you, handsome?
How about a kind ear for my troubles?
You got a real old school way of seeing bartenders.
I mean, it's true. They were the old therapists.
But in this case, you're right. I am a good listener. Lay it on.
I got this new client.
Oops.
Makes me feel old.
250-year-old man feels old, huh?
Yeah. But seriously, I thought I understood people, but she's from another time, like.
Yeah, from much older time than you.
I've been around a long time, and I ain't seen nothing quite like this internet. But my client lives there.
And you think you can't help her because you don't understand the internet?
Does anybody know, out of interest, genuine question. Where's my genuine question? Does anyone know whether Sam is allowed to have these kind of conversations with the bartender with patient confidentiality being a thing? Because client confidentiality is a dynamic. I mean, he's not talking about what she talked about, but he is talking about her and the things that she does for a living. Does that fall within client confidentiality? I mean, obviously they're vampires and they don't adhere to mortal systems of ethics and law and shit like that. But just out of pure interest, would that conversation of him being like, she works on the internet, she does all these dynamics, it's like, Patient client masquerade confidentiality. As long as he doesn't mention her name. Only if he doesn't disclose who they are or any information that could identify them. Okay, all right. So he can have these conversations. Like, I would imagine with his therapist, he can get it all off his chest and stuff like that. But, like, having a conversation with somebody at the bar. How's it going, Jolly? How you doing? As long as you don't give identifying details, he can have these conversations, just not... So long as they can't identify who it was his client was. Though saying that, he has just given information of the fact that she lives on the internet. And as a vampire, I would imagine that'd be quite rare. It's like, this vampire lives on the internet. It's like, all right, we all know that that's Medi. Shouldn't violate HIPAA as long as no name is mentioned. Provided no names are mentioned or identifiers. Would that be considered an identifier? Well, how you doing, you beautiful bean? As long as he isn't using anything that could specifically identify, he can talk generally about how the client is experiencing. Would her being the only vampire that... I don't think Sam understands what doxing is. Evidently not. Would that constitute... If she was the only vampire that was a streamer, would that constitute as an infringement of that? How many lives on the internet? It's rare. If it's rare, that's a problem. Loads of cosplay vamps on only spams. You mean only zealots? My friend is a social worker and she talked about her clients, but never has used anything that would allow me to track down the person. Okay. It would if it's rare for them to be on. So if she was like the only vampire that, or one of 4 vampires that was like a streamer. Okay, interesting. Once there was a woman met her therapist's daughter, and the daughter recognized her because her mum talked about her without a name. So she felt violated that her therapist could tell other people about her issues and wondered if it was a HIPAA violation. Okay. Reminds me of the court case with anonymous person X, who surprisingly won the 45th presidential election. No one can figure out this one out. Oh, right, yeah. If she's the only vamp streamer, then she's easily identifiable. So that would be an infringement if she is the only vampire streamer. Okay. I mean, to be fair, he hasn't said that she's a streamer. He's just said that she lives on the internet. So far. I know there's anonymous employee surveys with the Department of 10-year stuff. Yeah, there's a big thing going on at the moment in the UK with the fact that the Online Safety Act means that you have to give your identifying information over to access websites like you have to give over photo ID or a face scan to access websites like Wikipedia, which means that if you are a whistleblower for anything and you want to use Wikipedia as a way to get the truth out there, the UK government by law have the ability to get that information from now. The way the Online Safety Act now is, the UK government have the right to get that information from Wikipedia to find out who it was that posted certain articles and shit like that. It's awful. It's really fucking awful. Because there was a contention where Wikipedia was like, we shouldn't fall within this, and the court that said no, you have access. There is access to information about like suicide and pornography and information like that on Wikipedia, and therefore you have to fall within the Online Safety Act as a high risk potential. And per UK government law, they are legally allowed to basically subpoena any information about users using the website if they feel they have a need to. Which means that whistleblowers for the government, for example, anybody in the government who's like, I'm going to whistleblow, I'm going to tell everybody all this stuff, I can use this anonymous dynamic known as Wikipedia. Oh, wait, no, I can't. Yeah, it's really fucky. It's really, really fucky. Oh, but we won't do that because we would never abuse our power. Yeah, like fucking ass, you wouldn't. I mean, I say I'm 812 years old, so there must be another other people on the internet claiming to be vampires. That is true. That is true. Said she lives on the internet. Could be taken as either side of the screen. That is very, very true as well. Didn't actually say that she was a streamer. So that's okay. He's kept it ambiguous enough, I suppose. Strike off his license. Throw him in the pit. I would love to throw him in the pit. Can we throw Sam in the pit? I'm all for that. That works for me. That's wild, isn't it? Isn't it? Today's world, I'm sure there are other vamps who live on the internet and plenty of humans who claim to be vampires. Yeah. It's just wild how privacy can be violated and then they claim to be protecting everyone. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tay Cyber, I did an entire thing on how it doesn't fucking work. But exactly because of that, Alexander Davenport, VPNs, like, I need to legally say that you should not use a VPN, a virtual private network system, to get by any laws. You should never ever use a VPN to circumvent any laws in your country. That is illegal. That is not okay. You should not do it. But I am saying that people do it. A very easy way to circumvent that thing that you should not do, but an easy way to do it would be to get a VPN provider. And they're not going to get rid of VPNs anytime soon because far too many big companies use them. You think you couldn't help her because you don't understand the internet? Say you did help her. I think I did help her. I'm not sure. I'm going to say I'm not sure. I'm going to go with not sure this time.
I remember when the first steam locomotive showed up and we thought, that's it. We've invented everything.
Wouldn't use a VPN to be secret unless I plan to never touching anything. I normally do without one. Otherwise, they make the connection anyway. Yeah, to be fair, I use a VPN all the time anyway. Now, my VPN is a VPN that connects into the United Kingdom. So I bounce off servers. I think there's a server in Manchester, a server in Southampton, and a server in London. But I do that purely for my own internet safety. So my IP address is never out there. It's always bouncing through a thingy because my entire career is on the internet. And I am not the most tech-savvy person. So if somebody did want to destroy my fucking life through finding out my VPN, finding out my IP address, if they found out my IP address, then they could easily break into my shit and fuck me up for life. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't want that. I'm going to use a VPN. I pay for a VPN so that I don't have to have that worry. I do it for my own personal security, and I would never, ever use it to circumvent a law like the Online Safety Act. Though I will fully also admit that the temptation is also very much there when I'm trying to do education on sex education, and I'm like trying to learn things. I'm trying to find out bits and pieces, and it's like, you need to scan your face. And I'm like, I don't want to scan my face. I don't want this. I don't want them having this information on me. I don't want them having any information on me. Not okay. A lot of phones have IP addresses relay as a feature. Yeah. But the VPN system that I use, I'm trying to get a sponsorship with them. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I feel like internet security is very, very important. My one uses, it gives you access to like 2 or 3 computers and your phone, and it'll VPN them all. Like when Skype would let people DDoS you. Yeah. My work computer scans my face too. My face is already all over the internet. So my face is like, it's already out there, you know? But there's part of me that just doesn't want to do it out of sheer stubbornness, purely because I fucking hate the idea of it. I hate the idea of the government having that level of control over what I can and can't do as a fully grown adult. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Because they're protecting the kids, even though... do you know what? I won't say who it was, but somebody in the community sent me a link to a system that basically would work exactly the way that they want the Online Safety Act to work, but it would require parents to install it. Parents would have to install it on their computers to make it happen. Give me 2 seconds, friend. I'll be back in a minute. Somebody's at the door. chunk ordering more stuff. Like eye scans, like Minority Report. That's a security thing though, and I would imagine that that will all be like heavily encoded, like heavily locked down, so that information doesn't get out there because they don't want people using your eyeball scans in order to get by their security systems. You know, it's great when poor parenting ruin is for everyone else. Well, it shouldn't be our responsibility. It shouldn't be our responsibility, and it certainly fucking shouldn't be the government's responsibility. I do not have any children of my own, but if I did, I wouldn't want the government fucking, like, parenting them. I don't fucking trust the government enough to parent my kids. Fuck that noise. So why the fuck is it doing it? Oh, is it because it's nothing to do with actual parenting? Maybe it's entirely to do with, like, control and monitoring everybody and seeing what they get up to? Yeah, I think it probably is, yeah. Anyway.
Really?
I'll laugh all you like. Point is, I'm getting old faster than I ever have before.
Here's the thing, cowboy. Nobody understands the internet.
That is true. This is literally my job, and I still don't understand the internet.
I don't feel old yet, though. Still just glad to be alive, thanks to Andy's blood.
Oh, yeah?
I know you've been curious about why I've been drinking vampire blood. You don't have to pretend.
I won't pretend then. Parents should be parenting their own kids. Give people advice on how the house, etc., not what they're doing right now. It's all, yeah, exactly. Give people the education, the resources, and the means to be good parents. You're not gonna be able to make every parent a good parent by any stretch of the imagination. That just isn't gonna happen. But if you give them the resources, you give them the access to education in order to be a good parent, guess what? That'll solve a lot of issues. There's also the decision to go learning about sex. Not before you're 18 and it's too late. Want to see some news about innocent civilians being slaughtered? No need to age gate that. Come on in. Oh, well, that's the worst thing, though, Gecko. They are age gating that. They are age gating anything that is considered to be sensitive, which means that in the UK, obviously adult sites like pornography and stuff like that, all being all under the Online Safety Act. Sites like Reddit and Wikipedia are all being age gated, but also news sites and political broadcasts. Anything to do with a sensitive topic, like, for example, the genocide that's happening in Gaza, is blurred out, censored, spoiled, until you verify your face or your photo ID. Yep, whole thing. It's a whole thing. Because it's not okay for kids to learn about genocide. That's not all right. But in the same breath, they're also not protecting kids through not educating them and all the other jazz. But anyway, you get the blood gets boiling over this shit. I'm like, for fuck's sake, bastards. Constantly doing the wrong fucking things and trying to masquerade it as we're doing it for the kids.
I've got a rare blood cancer. Andy's blood is what's keeping me alive.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I'm real sorry.
I didn't say I was dying. I said I had cancer. Stop making that face. I'm just glad I found Andy. Don't think I was quite ready to die.
To be fair, cancer would have been all, like, in Sam's day and age, cancer would have always been terminal.
I, for one, am glad you're sticking around, Crimson.
Well, thank you kindly. So what'll it be, Sam? You ain't gonna dance?
No, I ain't gonna dance.
You owe me that story one day, cowboy. Here, have a little something I whipped up for Andy. Herbal blood tea.
Herbal blood tea. Interesting. So a 15-year-old sitting alone at home and there's a natural disaster or something hitting the area where their parents are, but they are being blocked and censored from knowing how bad it is and how many are affected. I don't know when it comes to natural disasters, but if, for example, a 15-year-old was sat at home and their parents were in Poland before Russia invaded, and then Russia invaded, in the current dynamic, there is a good chance that that would be censored and they wouldn't be able to get access to anything. Say for example, say insert country here, they were on holiday in insert country here, and then that country became the subject to a war, especially a controversial war, then everything would be age gated. They wouldn't be able to get any access about their parents. Yeah, as it is currently. Yes, that is a very accurate way of putting it. When it comes to natural disasters, I don't know whether that would be as censored, because there's no political leaning there. No chance for radicalization. But when it comes to something like war, there is a very heavy chance that it would be covered, and the 15-year-old wouldn't be able to find out about anything other than through other adults in their immediate vicinity. Do not like, neither do I. Rose hips, the worst tea. I don't think I've ever had rose hips tea. To say a school shooting, it would be censored which school it was. I honestly don't know. I genuinely don't know about that, Gecko. I'm not sure. We do. I mean, obviously in the UK we don't get any school shootings. But I would imagine if they rolled out the Online Safety Act to places like America, I know that Canada is looking at having them, but if they had it in America, it would mean that people would be able to censor all information about like any school shootings. Just seeing a lot of potential risky scenarios. Oh, massively so. Massively so, Gecko. And of course, you've got some people saying, well, if you've got nothing to be afraid of, why worry? Just get your fucking ID out there. And it's like, well, I'm afraid of two major things. One, the fact that the government changes all the fucking time, which means that I don't know who's going to have all of my information in the future. And two, well, I mean, three things. I shouldn't also have to fucking parent anybody as a, like, I shouldn't be punished for other parents not being able to parent their kids correctly. And when I say correctly, I mean in the way that the government dictates. And yeah, the amount of, like, I don't want my information being freely available for, there was 3, but I can't remember what the third one was though. Yeah, we don't get school shootings. We get kids stabbing each other though. We do get kids stabbing each other. That is true. I'm finding a website with full-on detailed picture of dead bodies after one of the big tsunamis way back in the day, talking before 2000s. I think that would be censored. Yeah, that's true. That information, that stuff would be censored for sure. It's not their business whether they're worried or not. Yeah, I mean, it's just censorship. I don't like any information being controlled as to whether I see it or not. I also don't like being tracked to see what I've been looking at and what I haven't been looking at. It's very, very much infringing on my privacy as a UK citizen. I shouldn't have to verify who I am. Not necessarily that I'm over the age of 18, but I shouldn't have to verify who I am as a person when I'm trying to access information about political dynamics or what have you, you know, or even sex education, or even fucking pornography. Do you know what I mean? I shouldn't have to verify the existence of me as a person. Not to mention the fact that there have been so many fucking data leaks on the dark web. UK ID, the sales went up 400% within a week of the Online Safety Act becoming a thing, because the government aren't doing the Online Safety Act through their own systems because that costs too much. So they're outsourcing it to third-party systems, and the third-party systems are getting hacked. So all of our fucking data is being sold on or hacked or leaked in some way, shape, or form. I don't want that information out there. I don't want, especially as a fucking online personality, I don't want to be doxxed because of the fact that I put my face in when trying to look at, I don't know, fucking signs for skin cancer when I've been out sunbathing or something like that. And then it's like, oh, suddenly I've got, everyone knows my fucking real name, my address, my entire fucking work history. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? It's also private companies get in touch way too much of the information dealt with. Yeah. Some of these private companies, by the way, Gecko the Dev, some of the third-party companies literally have in their terms and conditions that they have the right to sell whatever information you leave with them. So people are like, some of these third parties are literally having their information, are selling UK citizen information to other corporations and shit like that. This person's been looking at all of these things. We should send them all of this stuff. It's like, what the fuck? Minors are already not considering necessary to be informed on any legal matters whatsoever pertaining to them. They have to be told by the adults in charge of them, or not all. Alexander, it's worse than that. Do you know what's worse than that? Is the fact that one of the absolute biggest data mining hacks that exists, one of the biggest cyber crimes that exists in the United Kingdom at the moment, is hacking schools. One of the biggest targets is people getting like kids' data, getting their national insurance number when they're young, getting their name, date of birth, where they live, what their mother's called, their mother's maiden name, all of the usual like security questions that exist. Get them all, hack a school database, get all that information, wait for them to turn 18, and then just steal everything they ever have. You know. Simple desire, but I don't want the government to know what porn I watch. Don't tell me that they don't look at. Oh yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. They talk about how the fact that they don't monitor everybody's data, and then they talk about how they're going to review the data afterwards. And it's like, well, you can't have both. It's not possible. It's awful. The whole fucking thing is awful. And it also doesn't work because of shit like VPNs exist. Not only do VPNs exist, we literally looked this up. I was live on stream and we looked this up. If you type porn into Google, in the United Kingdom, you get the usual results. Pornhub, completely fucking blurred unless you verify your ID. The next 3 porn sites will show you explicit thumbnails where you can see absolutely fucking everything, but you only have to verify your face/ID when you click to play the entire thing, because you know nobody's ever wanked to pictures before. And the 5th website, when we literally did it live on stream, the 5th website, all you had to do was click that box that said, I am over the age of 18. Why? Because that website went, yeah, we're not adhering to the Online Safety Act, so we don't give a shit. It's pointless. It is fucking pointless. It's the biggest waste of fucking money that I have seen the government do since the PPE scams of the year 2000, of the pandemic. So fucking shit. No worries about that. You look away. Also fear that say kids being banned from sites that have information on how to avoid pedophiles or similar. Well, yeah, there's a whole thing on that. There's a whole thing on that. Well, with the fact that sex education is so dire that it is not giving children the signs, that like showing them what signs are of like, hey, you are being groomed. Hey, these are things you need to look out for. You know. But that's a whole conversation in and of itself. How's it going, Sherry Kitten? How you doing? Can I get a shout out for Sherry Kitten, please? I appreciate that. And people never buy any of the shit the ads throw at them anyway. I'm surprised it's gone on this long with no sales. Oh, we got double charts for Sherry Kitten. People go check out Sherry. Sherry's a wonderful, wonderful human being who I love very, very, very dearly. If you enjoy conversations around BDSM dynamics and fetish and other conversations that we kind of have as well, then you will have a good time over there. You'll have a good time over there. I've literally no idea how to watch porn anymore. Yeah, exactly. No idea. Good lord. Let me do this, and work out why I had 2 sets of alerts pop up there. Oh, that's the reason why. Interesting. I'm going to have to play with that later. But that'll do for now. Stealing identity for a baby. Inky Z, yeah. That's what they're doing, because the government don't provide good security for schools, for school internet security. So they just steal all the data really early, and it's like, great, cool. In 20 years' time, we'll make sure that this kid, we'll hack this kid and take every paycheck they ever have. You know, it's like when Unity talk about we will charge per play, when also saying, of course, we're not tracking user plays. Now, how it's been revealed, whoops, we're tracking it. Use the third-party spyware tool. Yeah, exactly. Aw, Sherry, that's really kind. I appreciate that. How you doing, Jam? How's it going, you beautiful bean? Also blocks a few LGBTQIA sites. Yep. Which is giving Section 28. It certainly is, Nathan. It certainly is. I haven't looked too deeply into that. I've heard that it has, but I haven't looked too deeply into it, so I don't want to offer an opinion yet. But I have heard that it is also blocking a few LGBTQIA sites, for sure. Enjoy conversations about BDSM. Bees do so much for the environment. Exactly that. That's the one. That is the one, for sure. For sure. But yeah, the whole thing's fucked. The whole thing is absolutely fucked, and it reeks of control and monitoring, and I hate it.
No garlic.
No garlic.
Mighty kind of you. Maybe I'll take a nightcap. You have yourself a fine...
Adios, muchacho.
God damn it, I didn't press the fucking button. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
I think that's my last client for a while. My caseload's big enough. I'm starting to get overwhelmed.
Okay, cool. So now we're actually going to revisit some of these people. That's going to be good. Just finished painting my bathroom. Getting it up and down on the ladder sucks if you're doing it barefoot. Yeah, it will, yeah. That is very, very true. Was it just you didn't want to get any of your feet, your feet shoes? Your feet shoes! Your shoes dirty, Darkly Divine Darling? Was that the dynamic there?
Maybe something from one of my books will inspire me. But then again, I could watch cartoons instead.
We're going to read a poem. Yeah, we're going to read a poem.
I think I'll read a poem. I've got one I love. Carry one, Walt Whit...
Walt Whit. Good old Walt Whit. But what about the children? Children are going to find shit whether you want them to or not. Just say it with your chest what the act is really about. Yeah. But what about the children? At what point do you think that is ever going to stop them? Children know how to use the internet more than adults do. And not only do children know how to use the internet more than adults do, children are, like teenagers, are already using AI to manufacture fake IDs using photos they take from the government website in order to bypass the Online Safety Act. They're all already using screen caps from Death Stranding in order to use the realistic CGI characters to get past the Online Safety Act. They are already downloading VPNs. All of these things they are already doing. It just doesn't work. And unfortunately, I think the issue is that it was never designed to. It was another old white person saying things that would get them points with certain voters in order to gain power, knowing full well that it wasn't going to work. Your shoes that are feet. Exactly, those ones. Thank you very much, Nibberin. Yes, no politics. This is true. I need to curb it back a little bit. But that's what it is. I was on so many sites when I shouldn't be in 13-year-old supervision. Doesn't do anything. Exactly. The other thing is that I found, like, the amount of shit that you find in bushes. Do you know what I mean? Porn mags still exist. Jesus Christ, when I was a kid, we'd steal them. Do you know what I mean? It didn't cost much to do it. And realistically speaking, it doesn't cost much to do it anyway, because the amount of times that I, as a young teenage child, would be, hey, I'm going to go in, buy a porn mag, and nobody would bat an eyelid because I looked over the age or what have you. Or they just didn't give a shit. They will always find a way. What is a much bigger issue at the moment, what is a much, much, much bigger issue at the moment that they should be fucking combating if they wanted to deal with, like, won't somebody think of the children, is this, like, epidemic of school kids taking pictures of themselves doing lewd and nude acts and having it leaked out across the entire fucking school. You want to talk about fucking protecting the kids? Find a way to stop that from happening. Because that's awful. That's horrific shit. Not only for the psychological and traumatic damage that it does to the kid that has had their photos leaked everywhere, but also for what happens if it gets into the hands of adults that it shouldn't get into the hands of. You want to fucking protect the kids? Start there. Do you know what I mean? But anyway. I think I'll read a poem.
I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you.
Aww.
I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents born here, from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, in perfect health begin.
Yeah, you subscribed. Most kind.
Hoping cease do not till death.
Creeds and schools in abeyance.
I'll be with you in a minute. Thank you, Mr. Hyde.
Sufficed at what they are, but never forgotten. I harbor for good or bad. I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check, with original energy. Just a little reminder that I'm still human.
Yes, human, says the vampire.
I think that's enough action for one night. Time I got me some shut-eye. Good night, son.
Good night, son. The not so rare rank tree. The very same.
Fine evening to you, Samuel. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling like that's where I gotta call it, friends. That's what I gotta call it, but I'm gonna save it. There we go. Yes, there we go. Also, Mr. Hyde coming in with the 15 months, you cheeky little devil. Whoop. I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein once I've cleaned it down, because I ran out of nail varnish remover to be able to take all this ink off. But I will inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow. You know, you cheeky devil. So many sites when you're 13, yeah. A money grab? Yeah. What are the chances? For me, when the whole Online Safety Act came out, first initially came out, it screamed to me exactly like the... Jeez, that's a bit loud. About the scam of the PPE in 2020, when the government spent millions on PPE that wasn't fit for purpose because they were giving their friends money and not actual PPE companies money. That's what it screamed to me when I first looked into it. Found a porn mag secured in onto a tree, not even into a tree, onto a tree in the park. I thought, some things never change. The not so rare wank tree. That's the one. How you doing, Sway? Morning. How did your meeting go? Was it good? Was it spectacular? Was it glorious? We could have watched a cartoon. But why would we watch a cartoon when we could become educated via the medium of poetry? Right? That's a massive one. Yeah, it is. Thanks for the stream. Have a good one. Yeah, no worries. We are going to raid out, obviously. We're going to go throw you at another wonderful, wonderful human being. Because that's the way. I like it. You know how it be. And before I dash off to role-playing, I have to share this. I get an email about events, companies that offer discount tickets, also events. And one for stands out. Elvana and Elvis tribute to Nirkava. It's a Nirvana. I have no idea how that works. That sounds wild. That sounds absolutely wild. You're looking at an official registered business. Huzzah, Sway. Bravo. Where's my applause? There we go. Bravo! Officially registered business way. Brava! Brava! How you doing, Europapa? How you doing? We will be in a moment. Yeah. We will be in a moment. For sure. Brava! You beautiful being. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm very, very happy for you. Only took several years of graft. Yeah, it did. It definitely took several years of graft. But you did it! But you did it! And that's what matters. That is what matters. Yeah, we are going to go and raid out. We're going to go throw some love at another wonderful individual. I know exactly who we're going to go raid. For the sheer jolliness of it. But before we do that, friends, as always, could you do me a massive favor and throw out some mod loves in the channel to say a massive, massive thank you to all of those moderators for all that they do in and out of stream, all the stuff they do for me behind the scenes, and all the stuff they do for this wonderful, wonderful community. I'd really appreciate it. Late come back. Hi, and I guess bye, everyone. Well, I'm going to take you to see somebody fun and great and glorious, Griot, so you could stick around for the raid. That would be wonderful. That would be great. That would be spectacular. Mods, thank you so much once again for all that you do. I really, really appreciate it. Too missy. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to all of you. Do you know, let me just load up the raid and then I'll give all my thank yous. All my beautiful thank yous. Friends, if you can stick around for the raid, even if it's only like 5-10 minutes, I would really, 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 really appreciate it. We're going to go see a good friend of mine who raided us yesterday. We're going to go do that. There we go. All of One True Cripple and Nibberin throwing it out there. Friends, if you are a subscriber, please copy and paste the raid message with our emotes on it. If you are not a subscriber, please copy and paste the raid message without our emotes in it. If you would like to use your own emotes, you can do that. That's all right if you want to do that. Just, you're so vain, I bet you think this raid is about you. Stick your own emotes in there. Show off your own fancy danciness. Yeah, sure. On board that. We can work with that. We can work with that. Let me get this thing up and ready. Friends, we're going to go raid Rebel Nay. We're going to go raid Rebel Nay, who's a very, very good friend of mine, a.k.a. Ellie. She raided us yesterday, and she's a wonderful, wonderful being. People, if you're not in the raid up here, please, 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 please click on the link that I've just dropped in chat and wait for us all to jump over and throw Ellie some love. Ellie is glorious, and as I talked about before, we don't get a chance to raid her very often, so this will be a fun one to go in. You'll get her this time exactly like a dastardly individual. Friends, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for the raids, the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bitties. But why is it not... Oh, fucking hell. Is that not working? There we go. For some reason, it wasn't working. Okay, it's not working when I do it in my OBS now. It is working when I do everywhere else. Fine. Fuck it. All right, cool. Friends, if you're not in the raid up at the top, please, please, please click on the link that I did throw in chat earlier. So we can all throw over some love and what have you. What game is tomorrow? Good question. I'm not entirely sure. We'll probably do a bit of a vote at the very, very beginning of the stream so that we can make a decision on that. What you were owing about Europapa? What have you done? Van broke OBS? No, I've put a new thing in OBS and it's changed a whole load of stuff. It's just going to take some getting used to. It should be better for multi-streaming in the future, but at the moment, it's just getting some used to. Anyway, friends, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the raid, the hosts, the raids, the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bitties. Thank you so much for all the new follows. Welcome on in, new followers. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for hanging out with us and enjoying the conversation and joining in the conversation and making it all a very interesting and complex and peculiar and bizarre stream that we love to pieces. Thank you to all you beautiful lurkers for lurking away. Thank you to all you beautiful people watching the VOD on the VODs and Vanity channel. I really, really appreciate it. You're glorious and spectacular. Thank you very much for the second shout out for Rebel Name. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. Friends, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT because the hours have gone back. 1 p.m. GMT, where we're going to be playing an indie horror game. Another indie horror game as part of the Indie Horror Emporium, all right? Until tomorrow, you cheeky devils. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, because if I wouldn't do it, it'll fucking kill you. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.